career.
First chance to see North Atlanta on offense here. Game 2 of our Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic of the Peachtree Sports Network. And Ian Reynolds, the impressive veteran quarterback for the Raiders. Ball will sit on the Warrior 49. Handoff on first down going the way of Henry DeBartleben. And with that, we'll get a chance to see the North Atlanta starters on offense, brought to you by Personal Touch Lawn Care. Good group across the front there. Ben Diedrich, Carlos Hernandez, and Nash Volkensad's on the offensive line, along with Jalen Mitchell and Reese Hellsworth. Obviously, this brought to you by the Rome Floyd Chamber of Commerce. We just saw DeBartleben get the handoff there. And he'll do that again. But there to meet him, Darian Edmond getting the stop defensively on second down. That'll bring up third down now. And no surprise that a Bobby May coach team going to be good up front defensively. Edmond among the first to get a big stop tonight. And you see the defensive starters also brought to you by the Rome Floyd Chamber of Commerce. Tyshawn Natt's a guy that was all over the place last year in the backfield for Kell. We expect that to be the case once again here tonight. Reynolds looking to throw, has to hurry up and get rid of it quickly, and he does.
Great play.
DeBartleben gets the catch.
Great play. They teach you to throw into the blitz. He had immediate pressure, turns around, guys in his face. He throws right into that void. I believe that's a first down.
Yeah, first down, yeah.
Great job there.
Chain gang was a little slow in moving there on that. In fact, they're still not set. But it is first down, and there goes Reynolds. Going to keep it himself, and Tyshawn Natt gets his first tackle of the night. Kell very active up front defensively right now. You see Reynolds surveying the sideline. We told you about Kell losing a couple transfers off the offensive side. They have benefited from a couple transfers on the defensive side. There is a handoff on second down, and here come the Longhorns to the backfield once again. That's Natt once again, but also Jalen Williams, the cornerback. One of the best players in this team, almost regardless of position, is Williams, and he was all over that one.
Yeah, big Natt, big 99. He's going to be a problem. He was last year, like you said. He was all over the field from that interior defensive line position.
So now 3rd and 11, very quickly, or you can call it 3rd and 12. You see the sun starting to set very nicely behind the North Atlanta grandstands there. Reynolds trying to buy himself some time, throwing back towards the sideline. That's a pass caught, 35, 30-yard line there. Cameron Lanier is there to haul that in.
That is a big league throw, Brandon. He threw that all the way across the hash, got the ball in his wide receiver's hand so he could get upfield.
He's just a really poised quarterback.
He's a smart quarterback, very experienced. Our good buddy Matt Stewart, who calls with us, texted me a few minutes ago. It's Rusty. I called him last year a couple games. I was really impressed with this quarterback.
Reynolds looking over the defense. Stands tall in the pocket. Now throwing other sideline.
Good throw, man.
Yeah. Well-designed play there. Once again, Cameron Lanier is there to haul it in.
Timing. He threw that when that guy got out of the break. He turned that loose before he ever looked back to him. Nice ball there by Reynolds.
You see on our Breda Pest Management score ticket underneath. Speaking of Matt Stewart, we'll hear Matt call tomorrow night a couple of games. You'll be there for at least one of those.
You know, my man's probably sitting up in that chair right now. He got his cardboard out, making his depth charts, and
you love that.
Watching football.
Reynolds runs the sweep play this time, spinning and fighting. It's Grant Thompson.
Ball handed off to number 1.
Talking about running behind your pads. Great opening drive here for North Atlanta. Converted 2 long third downs, Brandon, to get in the red zone.
We're in the red zone, brought to you by IBEW, Local 613. been a good night so far for APS schools. A big win from Douglas in our first game, and now on the first drive at least, North Atlanta looking pretty sharp here. Josh McCullough goes in motion. Reynolds takes the snap, hand off to DeBartolin, and that's Tyshawn Nat again to just wrap him up by an ankle and bring him down. So strong with that big hand.
I tell you what, man, what a huge temperature difference right now in this place.
Yeah, big drop right there. If this was the only game of the night, we'd still think it was pretty hot. By comparison to the afternoon, it feels like.
We're playing the tanning bed at 4:30.
Fake by Reynolds. Got a guy open. He's going to throw it complete, and it's a touchdown. Josh McCullough finds the first points of the season for North Atlanta.
I tell you what, man, what a well-put-together drive and 3 really good passes by Reynolds. Great play design right there. Got bootleg, come back, little flood route, gets the ball
that
out.
Was your IBEW electrifying play. Easy for me to say. Electrifying play of the half.
Man.
Presented by IBEW Local 613.
We must think it's going to be a quiet half.
I know it. So on to try the extra point for North Atlanta is Lucas England. And it's good. And North Atlanta, just like that, comes marching down the field, led by quarterback Ian Reynolds. Josh McCullough gets the catch. And the Warriors are on top. Kell gets a chance to respond. We'll be right back after this.
With Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Don't worry, help is on the way.
With any of Life Alert's 3 emergency systems, help can be summoned immediately, and batteries never need charging.
I was having a stroke, and I was scared to death.
If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
Life Alert is a lifesaver.
My husband is alive because of Life Alert.
Life Alert is the lifesaver to keep me out of assisted living.
Life Alert saves a life every 11 minutes.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-344-6363. That's 1-800-344-6363. Call now, 1-800-344-6363.
You ever seen this? You ever seen that? You ever seen the Harlem Globetrotters live on TV? Well, now's your chance. For the first time in 40 years, the Harlem Globetrotters are showing off their skills right in your living room. Don't miss a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and don't miss whatever they call that move. The Harlem Globetrotters, live Sunday at 7, only on Atlanta's own Peachtree TV. Yeah, baby.
Game 2 of our Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic continues here from Stockyard and Kell High School. And, of course, when you think about big-time high school football in Georgia, you think about big-time recruits to watch. In fact, Rusty Manziel, why don't you give us a recruit to watch here presented by Georgia Match?
Yeah, kind of the theme of the night, young running backs. Now, Mooney Gibson right there, number 6 for Kell, picked up some Power 5 offers, now Power 4, which is the new college world. But he picked up Georgia as one of those schools, had a really good freshman year, and he's a guy to watch already. He's a guy that's going to be a big part of Kell all season long with their success and how well they do offensively.
Saw him get a nice carry on the game's opening play, and we'll see if they can get him going more on what's going to be the Longhorn second drive here coming up, trailing by a touchdown after a very efficient opening possession from the Warriors of North Atlanta a moment ago. So once again here to kick things off for North Atlanta is Lucas England. England booms it, but it will eventually go into the end zone. Thought for a moment Trenton Wanjogu may have a chance to return that, but ultimately not. And now it'll be another 1st and 10 now coming up for Cal after the touchback.
It's hard to believe, Brandon, we are in high school football. We always talk about like in November, December, remember how hot it was at Corky Kell?
That's right.
Remember how crazy, how fast that went? It's amazing how fast the offseason went. We're here now.
I am so happy about that.
Yes.
Obviously, you know, this event starts off what will be a long stretch of us for high school football with the Great Atlanta Bash next week. A tremendous matchup for that.
Oh, my goodness. Mill Creek and Norcross.
Can't wait for that. And then obviously a drive for the GHSA state title after that. But in many ways, the marquee event, it's almost like our Daytona 500. You see Gibson, Rusty just told you about him, and there he goes, getting 15 on first down.
Different juice to him, man. You see how quick he hits the hole, that low center of gravity. I love that in a running back, but you see how fast he gets north and south and how fast he gets to fifth gear.
And obviously, you want to keep your eye on the other games that will be taking place this weekend. That Breda Pest Management score ticker giving you a reminder of that down there right now. 15 for Gibson, getting another carry here. He'll make a man miss and get his way up past the 39, nearing the 40. About 4 or 5 more for Gibson there.
Quick feet on him.
They say he actually went down. They only give him 3 that time. I thought he may have stayed up and got himself an extra yard, but they say not. So we'll go with them on that.
Yeah, it's too early to raise Kane up here.
Hand off to Gibson again. He has been a lot of the offense thus far, but this time North Atlanta is there to meet him. Dean Paulson, one of the guys in on that stop for the Warriors.
I believe he made a lot of plays last year, and we got a chance to watch North Atlanta play. 3rd and 10. See what they do here. Last time they rolled him out, try to give him a little run-pass option. See if they sit in a zone and try to keep him in the pocket.
Man goes in motion. That is Gibson. Rolling right is Narcisse. Narcisse got a lot of velocity when he throws it, but not much doing there for Jaden George. It is a completion, but well short of the line to make, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
They look like they're going.
Yeah, Kell's not hesitating, though, to go for it here.
See if they try to get a cheap penalty here. See if they can get somebody jump off sides on 4th and 4.
Narcisse is going to go hard count. North Atlanta not taking the bait, at least here for the moment. There's still tons of time on the play clock.
Yeah.
So we'll see if Kell really does run it.
Oh,
they do.
Counter, sure do.
They're going to hand the ball off, and it's first down yardage and more across the 40-yard line, 35, and down there goes Mooney Gibson. And here come the Longhorns.
Man, I love that play call. They were not hesitating on that. They run counter on 4th and 4. Coach Mays saw the setup on defense. He changed the play, and they come right back at it. Gibson hits him with a big play for a conversion.
What a spark he's had tonight.
Nice job by that backside guard and tackle pulling on that play, getting out in front of Gibson, opening up that alley for him.
3 down linemen for North Atlanta, a pair of receivers on both sides of the formation for Kell. Now here's the fake, and going straight ahead is Narcisse. Narcisse keeps it himself and gets to the 20-yard line. 14 more yards. That's a fresh set of downs again coming for Kell.
Great read right there by the quarterback to keep that. The defensive end crashed on the running back. Easy keep. That's the right read for that. And got another big chunk play for another first down.
It's Dante Grant in at tailback now. He'll give the change of pace for Gibson. Now goes in motion. Going to throw over the right side. That's a pass caught inside the 10 and into the end zone for a touchdown. Goes the senior Jaden George. And the Longhorns have struck back.
They absolutely love this guy. They think he is so underrated. They talked about him to me, sent me text messages on him. They love Jaden George.
So much to replace for this Kell passing offense. And right now you see why George is one of the guys who is, as Rusty said, creating optimism that he's going to be able to be a big-time playmaker for this Longhorns offense.
Love the change in the arm angle on that delivery, too.
That's exactly right.
Flick of the wrist and get it out there. No sense in messing around. You like to play call, get it to him.
Fernando Tavares, extra point would be good, but there is a flag down.
I have encroachment, defense. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty. Half the distance.
You know, I don't know this for sure, but you mentioned Narcisse's throw. Obviously, last year and for the last couple of years, Bryce Clavon, a tremendous baseball background as the Kell quarterback. Certainly, Narcisse has that same kind of look with the way that he's able to throw the football, almost like an infielder. We're right here in the shadow of the East Cobb baseball facility. Wouldn't be a surprise to me to find out that Narcisse has spent some time over there.
No doubt. And Jaden George right now committed to UTC, but Kell told me this week he's hearing from Georgia Tech, Georgia Southern, and Mississippi State.
After the penalty, that's going to give Kell a chance to go for two. Narcisse showing his legs, and it's good. And with that, Kell will take an 8-7 lead here over North Atlanta. A couple of nice plays from Caleb Narcisse, the junior quarterback, in his first full year as the starting quarterback here for the Longhorns. So a lot of action on both sides. We're expecting this to be a good one. Early indication is we are right. We'll be right back.
Basic combat training is a 10-week experience that will challenge you both physically and mentally. Each phase of your training will introduce you to new soldier skills, building and advancing them along the way. You and your fellow soldiers will work as a team to accomplish each mission, overcome each obstacle, and earn the right to wear the black beret of an Army National Guard soldier.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting six figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back, we're gonna do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
Are you interested in becoming a deputy or a jailer? The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office is hiring and looking for individuals passionate about protecting and serving their community. If you are 18 years or older, join our team by visiting gogcso.com for more information. Gwinnett County, together we can make a difference.
The Georgia Sheet Metal JETC equips apprentices with the knowledge and skills required to start a rewarding career in the sheet metal industry with programs in HVAC, industrial welding, and testing, adjusting, and balancing. Training is 100% free and allows apprentices to earn as they learn. Journeymen graduate with no student debt and have the potential to earn more than most college graduates. Visit our website to learn more about this opportunity at careersinsheetmetal.com.
For a healthier future together, look to Northside Hospital.
The GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic is sponsored by Northside Hospital, your source of strength. The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office. Serve and protect through dedication, professionalism, and active cooperation with the community. Smart Local 85. Sheet metal is a smart move. Gatorade. Fuel tomorrow. And by Score Atlanta, your source for Georgia high school sports.
Brand new score. It's Kell now on top, 8-7. After a big fourth down run by Mooney Gibson. Then sets up Caleb Narcisse for a nice throw to Jaden George. The two-point conversion after the penalty, and that's where we are here now. Kick away. We start to have the makings of a beautiful sunset here in Cobb County on a Wednesday night. Flag comes in late after all of that. We have seen our share of flags.
It has been opening night, no doubt.
It has been
special teams and flags.
Every bit of what you would expect it would be as far as that goes. You see Heber, Christian, and Therrell getting ready to take place on Friday. We told you a little earlier, many of you are already aware of this. You see, it's a personal foul, actually.
Against Kell?
Here's that way. Kell fans below us not happy about
did
that.
not like that call.
As you would imagine. So as we mark it off, I'll finish the point that I was making. Many of you are already aware of this.
It was number one.
Got a live mic there, ref.
Listen, in high school football, we typically don't call out the players.
He just said, well, he let the sidelines know.
I say kiddingly, but obviously we talked about this in game one, but the game that was supposed to take place to kind of close out our Friday night there at Rome High School involving the Wolves, not going to take place now because of the bus accident that Rome was involved in
last Thursday
night. Now, scary details involving that crash. Rusty, that's the area in which you live, and I know you're in contact with people there on a regular basis. It sounds like everything has actually worked out about as well as you could hope given the circumstances.
For a school bus with no seat belts to roll 3.5 times, it could have been, and they were hit. Now, it wasn't their fault. They were hit by another vehicle. And
Reynolds will throw, and it's deep. Down the sideline, flag, too much contact there.
Yeah, in phase just a little bit too much for that official on the sideline. But one quick note on that, Rome. They had several players this weekend that didn't pass the concussion test, and when that happened, that was a no-brainer. I.J. Rosenberg, everybody from the Corky Kell, Jimmy Dorsey, John Reed, everybody at Rome was in agreement. You guys need to take this week off. And even Creekside, who really wanted to play, obviously on TV, they understood, and it was the right decision by everyone involved for Rome to allow their kids more time to heal up. And what a scary thought, man. 10:45 on a Thursday night. You just won a big game at Rockmart. You're on your way home, and next thing you know, you got 10 or 12 players in the hospital.
Yeah. And obviously you and I grew up going to games in those yellow buses all the time. They don't have seatbelts.
Thank goodness they had air conditioning because of windows. If the windows would have been down, could have been a lot worse.
That's a really good point. So a couple of penalties put North Atlanta right there at midfield. Hand off once again to DeBartolin.
They recognized the bus driver this week for what he did and was able to get kids off of that bus. I think he was pretty injured, but he went into mode when you're laying upside down and getting kids off the bus. That is a very, very scary situation. But
what a hero!
He
and you know, you and I both. I mean, growing up, and obviously our kids, you know, the same thing too. You have the bus safety trainings all the time.
Yes.
It's easy to not pay attention to listen to that, and then in a situation like this, you realize how necessary something like that can become as Reynolds hands the ball off on second down.
Big Matt tossing him back. But yeah, it's very similar to CPR training. You never hope you're going to use it. Not real sure who's paying enough attention, but you can't miss when an opportunity. You cannot miss. And that bus driver for Rome City Schools, apologize for not knowing his name, but he went into action to help his students to safety as quick as possible.
So Reynolds will be in the empty backfield here now for what we're going to call 3rd and about 2. He's got 3 receivers spread across the left. Lone receiver on the right goes in motion. Fake handoff to him. Reynolds keeps it himself, and that was frankly pretty easy across the 40-yard line down to around the 39. And a first down coming here for North Atlanta. Both these offenses right now seem to be in a little bit of a rhythm.
Yes, they're both offensively really good football teams, and it starts with the quarterback play. And right now from both quarterbacks, we've seen a lot and good decisions.
If you're just joining us, the name of note for North Atlanta defensively, Chase Linton, the outside linebacker, currently committed to Rutgers, but drawing a lot of attention here locally, including from the University of Georgia, not playing here tonight. Reynolds will throw, and it is fight for the football, and it's an interception. There to bring it in is Braden Rouse.
Wow, what a
for
play.
The Longhorn.
What a play by Rouse. He goes up and high points this ball. I actually thought he layered it over him, but Rouse goes up and makes the play.
See the Cal students loving that.
I want to apologize now. One thing, too. We don't have replay right now. We would definitely show that. Something out of our means. We had a small fire near the concession stand, caught one of our cables. We're trying to fix it as soon as possible. We definitely would show you that play. But Rouse goes up and gets it. Great interception there.
To be clear, it's not currently on fire.
It's not currently on fire. It was an afternoon fire. And I came in, and everybody's got big eyes like, you just missed a fire. I was like, wait a minute, what happened? But we've had a couple of technical issues off of that, but our team is working very hard to get that taken care of. And it's like I said, man, it was the first game of the year.
So big play there by Rouse. Creates another opportunity offensively. Narcisse now going to hand it off again. This has worked a lot tonight.
Yes.
It's up to the 34 here, so about 5 more there for Gibson, who's working on quite a night already.
To let you know, people are paying attention. I just received multiple texts. Nikita Strickland was the name of the bus driver.
Wow.
So I want to make sure we get his name out there.
So I appreciate that, and I obviously appreciate his act of really just generous service to his community, never to be forgotten. All right, so we're going to bring it into our first quarter, and I would say it's a good one. A lot of plays on both sides. We're settling in for a fun one, so folks, stay right where you are.
Looking for a reason to try the new $5 meal deal at McDonald's? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the price makes 5.
So much.
That's everything you get with the new $5 meal deal at McDonald's.
Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
It's hot at Matthews Kia of Cartersville, so we are having a hot sales event. We have great selections of 2024 and 2025 new vehicles. Lease the 2025 Kia Carnival LX, $429 for 24 months. The 2024 Kia Sportage LX, $289 for 24 months. Or the 2024 Kia Telluride S, just $379 for 24 months. Hurry, because prices are in your favor right now. Don't forget, Matthews Kia of Cartersville is home to the lifetime warranty. Come see us today. All roads lead to Matthews Kia of Cartersville.
The nation's hottest sport. See what the buzz is about on Peachtree Sports Network, where the Atlanta Dream look to eclipse the Connecticut Sun. Dream Sun, Sunday at 3 on Peachtree Sports Network.
Welcome back. Second quarter getting ready to get going in game 2 of our first night of the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic. Brandon Adams, Rusty Manziel, Kaylee Manziel doing a great job manning our host position here. You see Narcisse faking right, now throwing middle of the field, wide open, and it's a beautiful over-the-shoulder catch and an easy touchdown. Mooney Gibson takes it all the way. And that's 73 yards.
Yeah, when I talk about youth, Brandon.
Illegal motion, offense.
Oh, man.
Running back was moving towards the line.
In motion. I'll tell you what happened there. They caught a freshman with his eyes in the backfield, and they took a shot at him. And that's a learning play, but fortunately for him, it will not count, and it's coming back.
Bring it all the way back, wipe out a 73-yard touchdown that was about as pretty a throw and clean a route as you're ever going to see. But it's coming back here after the penalty. They're going to say that Gibson was moving forward as the ball was snapped. A big no-no for a running back.
After says penalty, second down 10.
You see Narcisse there. Taking the snap, looking left, pressure coming. Narcisse just has to get it away. Yves Luis was in on that stop.
He's in the pocket as well. We'll get him from ground in there.
Doing whatever he could do to avoid the sack from Lewis.
Yeah, the problem was he was straight back in the pocket. The referee reached for it pretty quickly.
Yeah, not outside the tackle box, in other words.
Yep.
Intentional grounding, quarterback. Lost the down.
You know, that's also a little bit of a different interpretation than you sometimes see in college and the NFL, where oftentimes they'll give the quarterback the benefit of the doubt in a situation like that.
Yes.
You know, in this particular case, I would say the high school rule on that is sometimes called a little bit different.
Yeah.
But that's going to back. Kell way up here. Now making 3rd and 20. The ball resting right there around the 5-yard line. That'll put Narcisse in an empty backfield in the end zone all by himself. Pressure coming again. He's got Gibson wide open at the 10-yard line. Gibson tried to leap over a guy. Gets across the 20, though. You know, really close to where the original line of scrimmage is, so kind of getting some of that penalty yards back.
Just want to get it back.
See the Longhorn logo there.
Saw the sign today. School established in 2002.
We got, what, 2 Longhorns in Georgia? Lanier's the Longhorns. Kell's the Longhorns. Is there another Longhorn in Georgia?
Man, I hope we don't. We'll get a text, or we got 2 that looked alike. Lanier and Kell, definitely color-wise.
You see there the rugby-style punt. Going to bounce there at the midfield and roll into.
What is Lambert?
Lambert is also the Longhorns. Thank you very much. Lambert is the Longhorns out of Swanee there in Forsyth County. We'll take a look at the resume here for North Atlanta. A resume that's quickly being added to by Coach Jamie All. Made the playoffs the last 2 years. How about 9-2 a year ago? And of course, we about Eddie Johnson coming through here in 2011 on his way to Miami. But in a lot of ways, you know, the history of North Atlanta as a program as we know it kind of being written by Jamie All here right now.
Keeping your kids at home.
Brought to you by Smart Local 85, bringing that resume there for North Atlanta. We love our friends at Smart Local 85 and all the folks offering great career opportunities for people in our audience. If you want to make good money, you don't have to worry about the student debt, and really set yourself up for a life in which you can take care of your family for a very long time. I take that very, very seriously, and I've loved over the course of years getting to know all of our friends from the unions. And I am so proud of the work that they do to create great lives for people in our audience. Trying to set up a screen.
Great job.
And Kell was all over that. Ellenberg was the intended target.
Jalen Williams, I believe.
Williams, who was recognized by the Marietta Daily Journal before the start of the season, one of their kind of top dozen players in the county. He was snuffing that out in a big way.
Talked with an individual today whose son is in the trade. He's got a 3-year apprenticeship, and at the end of that 3-year apprenticeship, he's expecting to be making 6 figures.
Yeah, no doubt.
At 22 years old.
No doubt. Closest you've ever been to hard work, talking to somebody like that. As you see Reynolds throwing into double coverage. Ellenberg was the intended target, but once again, Williams, who kind of knows this can be his year to sort of step up and be the real leader of this program, among the real leaders of this program. He's been involved in a couple of big plays tonight, a couple of nice pass breakups. Yeah, I'm glad to see you talking to some hardworking folks. Maybe that'll rub off on you a little bit.
Let me tell you something. Don't want to pull out I worked at the steel mill for 4 years hard.
Did you really?
I absolutely did. Let me tell you something. When I left that steel mill in 4 years, it was, you better get yourself together.
You were scared straight.
I was scared straight. Your boots would melt off in that thing.
No question about that. You see Jamie all there doing a great job with this program.
So anytime I look down the barrel of about a 5-hour drive to go watch football practice, I just think about, hey, you could be sitting there watching steel. You could watch steel cut.
Very, very true. While we have a chance, we'll also take a look at the Kell resume here with Bobby May. Of course, region champs a year ago. Jonathan Dwyer, one of the names you kind of think of to begin with when you think of this Kell program. Brendan Langley, Quincy Lauder, of course, a couple of others. Dwyer's still heavily involved with this Kell program, too.
Yep.
No doubt he probably loves what he's seen from Mooney Gibson thus far tonight.
He's got to be his guy. I think Jonathan Dwyer's going in the High School Football Hall of Fame, isn't he? I believe he's one of the inductees this year.
You're right, absolutely. Once again, that also brought to you by Smart Local 85.
Brandon Langley, a guy now that's back. I believe he is an assistant coach at Sprayberry.
Okay.
Yep. Played a good while. Played a couple years NFL, a couple years, I believe, in the XFL a little bit. And now he's training players and reaches out to me a good bit. And I enjoyed covering those two young men right there at the bottom here at Kell High School.
Also, how much do you love Bobby May's leadership of this program? Just such a cool customer, very relaxed.
Very polished.
Yeah, very polished. And, a couple of years ago when he leaves Westlake, one of the most talent-rich programs in the state, you got to make sure you're taking a good job when you do that. And obviously, Kell, he saw the vision of what this place could be. You see Reynolds running. Man, this is a good quarterback.
Man.
Look at him with his legs. Take some contact there at the end, but going to get first down yardage nonetheless. I like everything I'm seeing from Ian Reynolds tonight.
I tell you what, that drives a defensive coordinator absolutely nuts on a 3rd down and 12, and you have a quarterback scramble on you for about 14, and he made some guys miss there, Brandon.
He did indeed. So we'll see 3 receivers off to the right. A couple on the left. Reynolds getting pretty comfortable in an empty backfield. Man goes in motion. That's going to be the handoff going there to Lanier. And Lanier gets a nice gain once again for the Warriors.
Second and 1 here.
And this is one of those things where on 2nd and 1, you can do anything you want to here.
Yeah. This part of the field. Looks like they're going man-to-man here. Single high safety. Stacked the box, sure did.
Yeah, sure did. Gain on the play once again going to Bartleby. Alex Jean, one of the guys in on that stop. That's one of the transfer players this program has picked up during the offseason. Now looking at 3rd and 2.
Yeah. They stacked the box there. They went single high safety, man-to-man coverage.
Boy, a gorgeous sky starting.
They got people in the box again here.
Yeah, they're really crowding right there at the line of scrimmage. McCullough goes in motion, becomes kind of like the H-back. There's the handoff up the middle.
Good play.
And they're going to just plow right through there for a first down to Bartleby once again. Yeah, Kell tried to pack it in there tight.
Put the numbers on them, didn't they?
But North Atlanta kind of winning that battle up front, at least for the moment.
That is football, man. When you got 6 guys trying to block 8 and you need that back to make that one guy miss to get those 2 yards, that is truly the game within the game.
It's one of the things I like about high school football because for whatever reason, I don't know if it's just the speed of the athlete or the size of the athlete or what, the pre-snap stuff becomes a little bit easier to recognize sometimes,
yeah.
And you can see the wheels turning, whereas sometimes at the college level you're so overwhelmed by the athleticism that you don't really see as the football comes loose. And Kell's going to come away with it. It's Tyshawn Nat who had the football. Not quite so sure if he's the one that caused it necessarily, but Kell gets a big turnover right there as it looked like North Atlanta was going in for a touchdown.
Man.
And boy, Nat, as we told you, I mean, when we've had him on TV, he has done just about everything.
He's been a problem. He has been a problem for 2 years now.
So now that'll give Kell a chance to respond here. And for North Atlanta offensively, it's kind of funny. It seems like they've done very little wrong offensively all night long. And yet, they're sitting here with just 7 points and kind of left to wonder, already looking at a little, bit of a deficit about, what might have been, right?
Doubt. Yeah, a lot of momentum there, a lot of chunk plays. But only 7 points to show so far.
Narcisse surveys the situation. Going to hand up the middle.
I want to say hello to our good buddy, legendary coach Dave Hunter.
Yes.
He is home tonight. He will be tomorrow at West Forsyth, and he texted me to let you and I both know. First, to tell you hello.
Good.
Number two, say we're doing a good job.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
That's
Coach
all
Hunter.
that
I
matters.
appreciate that.
When Dave Hunter, I'm good for the night.
I like to hear that. Obviously, a guy who made his name in part coaching in these games at the old Georgia Dome years ago, and now a great ambassador for really all things high school football. My conversation with him, always something I cherish so much.
Gosh, man, I can Dave Hunter can tell me. He tells me the same story about every third time, and I don't even tell him. I'm like, tell me again, Coach.
Narcisse tried to set up almost like an RPO, trying to connect with Landon Mays there, but
my favorite all time is when he was coaching Georgia, Florida. And they accidentally had a coach in the back of a van accidentally watching Florida practice that morning. It was all accident, though. Just accident. Just happened to have a guy laying in the back of a van with a camera watching Florida practice. You know what they say? If you ain't trying, you ain't trying.
That's right. So Kell dangerously close of not doing much with the opportunity provided to it after the fumble a moment ago. Also, what was a nice, brisk pace has, for the moment, been halted. Narcisse taking the snap. He's going to try to use his legs, trying to find the edge on the outside, and I believe he got it, and the first down. Yeah, getting up across almost the 20-yard line, pick up about 12, and first down yardage is Narcisse. Clock now ticking, almost halfway home here in the second quarter.
Good job there extending the play. Both running backs making you miss in the pocket and moving the chains.
North Atlanta showing pressure here once again. One lone safety back. Handoff.
Nice play there.
Yeah, they're all over Gibson that time.
Big 52.
Alfonso Dreyer.
6'2", 324.
Are you kidding me with that?
Hey,
that is beef.
Hey, man, list you at 324. You ain't 324. That's your mama weight, 324. Yeah. I like it, man.
That is
you think about
tough customer on the inside of that defense.
They put Linton out there, and he gets one-on-ones because of that when he's back.
Narcisse gets the block he needs, now gets the throw off, and it is caught.
Oh, man.
Diving catch, and a pretty one. But there to haul it in once again is Jaden George.
What a ball. Absolute dime, and then George goes and closes it. Diving catch for the UTC commit.
Gorgeous throw and catch there. Handoff going to Gibson. Gibson down to the 35, got about 2.5 yards that time. But you talked about Jaden George earlier, what he's able to do at the wide receiver position. I would say that Kell is on the verge of really identifying him as a very legitimate playmaker.
Yeah, I like him, and their staff has been all over me all summer. I think he has some verified GPS times in that 21 range. They do have a company here tonight that are running vest on their players. I'll be interested to see what his speed was right there. I can assure you they'll text me later tonight, but that is very good information, that GPS data on that in-game speed.
Gibson now comes over to stand at Narcisse's left. He'll take the handoff but be met in the backfield. Prince Williams, the defensive end, among the Warriors defenders in on that stop. That'll bring up third down.
Loss of 1, third down 9, ball at the 36.
8-7 is our score. Feels like we've had more plays than points here thus far in terms of
it's been a really slow
memorable highlights, but the points themselves, I guess, have turned out to be kind of hard to come by. Gibson gets the handoff, still on his feet, crossed the 25-yard line. Narcisse, almost carried out a reverse fake that time, making folks thought he had pulled the ball back out, was looking to throw the pop pass. And if you take your eyes off Gibson for a second, he's going to make you pay for that.
And don't take this in the wrong way. He's a lot quicker than he looks. I'm telling you, in person, he can flat out get north and south.
Yeah, I think we came in tonight, at least I did, thinking this was going to be a Kell team that was going to need to kind of reintroduce itself a bit. And I would say that Gibson and George and Narcisse, that trio of guys offensively, are on their way to doing that. And, of course, going to be some frustration here after.
Snap. I have a false start on the offense. That'd be a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Lyman jumped early that time, and so that's going to back up Kell 5 yards here. Fake handoff by Narcisse, looking to a man wide open, pass caught, gets the block, 20, down the sideline, 15-10. That's Braden Rouse, the tight end, getting involved offensively. Well-designed play to get Rouse involved, and that brings us into our red zone here. Presented by IBEW Local 613. Gibson darts left, inside the 10. Got about 4. Longhorns lead by a point, looking to add to that. We'll see you at West Forsyth High School tomorrow here on the Peachtree Sports Network. Barron Stadium in Rome on Friday. Also Hebron Christian as well for the early afternoon game. And then, of course, Mercedes-Benz Stadium on
I have
Saturday.
encroachment. Defense. First down.
In our first game today, we saw Douglas get an impressive win.
Are we short? Are we short?
Bring up second and inches. Ball near the 4.
Over LaGrange. Narcisse keeping it himself. North Atlanta, though, wasn't fooled. It is goal to goal here, with the second down coming out.
North Atlanta's number 12. Bring first and goal, Kell from the 3.
Good-looking offensive line for these Longhorns. There's the handoff to Gibson, and he'll run behind that offensive line and go easily into the end zone for a touchdown 3 yards out.
Real easy there.
Finding some footing are the Longhorns at the moment. Mooney Gibson adds to the Kell lead here at the Stockyard.
That offensive line up front really kind of establishing himself, and then when you got Gibson in behind it, hitting a hole like that. North Atlanta's got to look at this halftime right now. If it ends up like this, going, what if? They had several good drives come away with no points on those drives.
So on to try the PAT, and it's good. Sending that one through is Fernando Tavares, and now our new score is 15-7. Kell has the lead. North Atlanta gets a response. But first, a quick timeout.
Man, you know how to do this? Man, I don't even know. I was flipping burgers last week.
Violation, unsportsmanlike conduct, impersonating a craftsman.
Skilled trade unions are well-trained career pros, not part-timers.
Construction is a rewarding and lucrative career with the advancement potential, but you have to do it the right way with the right training. Learn how you can be a pro. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
What happens after you graduate? Will you go to the next level? Will people have your back in the heat of the battle? Will you still train like a champion in pursuit of greatness? You will when you become an IBEW electrician. Join our team. Visit IBEW613.org.
Great teams are committed, focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear. Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their abilities. Sports Turf is committed to bringing your team innovative sports surfaces with unparalleled performance. You bring the vision, our team brings it to life.
I just enjoy working with my hands. I've always enjoyed doing mechanical work, and it's nice to be able to build something and look back at it, and know you've done a quality job on it.
At the end of the project, you're able to see what you have put in as far as the jobs are concerned. We know what's being put in the right way the first time.
And through the apprenticeship, you get the training to do a quality job.
Nobody wants to hear the word roaches, because who wants to admit they have roaches?
I actually found some weird roaches. I didn't know what they were. I decided to choose Breda. I reached out to them. They check in routinely. They're explaining what they're doing, so there's a lot of clarity in the process as well. I think that just speaks to the level of safety that I feel with the organization.
The facts are, roaches are everywhere in our environment, so what are you doing to keep them out of your home?
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
We are back, and it's 15-7 here right now at Corky Kell Stadium on the campus of Kell High School. They call it the Stockyard around here, and obviously great to see the Kell family being honored earlier today.
Yes.
Long time contributions to high school athletics here in Georgia. School bearing the name of Corky Kell, as does our event, and now sharing that with the former coach Dave Hunter as well.
Yeah, great addition last year. And, Corky Kell, one of his last wishes to his close inner circle was, please keep this going.
Yeah.
And they have, and they built this thing. This is, without a doubt, this is the premier kickoff classic in the country. I can't tell you how many people today was hitting me up, like, how can we watch this out, all over the country. So to have Corky Kell and Dave Hunter Classic, both of those guys so impactful in the state of Georgia, the history between those two, and just think about seeing Jimmy Dorsey down here a long time, a Keatron head coach.
That's right.
Just a lot of people involved with this that mean a lot to Georgia high school football, and I am glad to have a small role in this thing.
You see a nice fight for extra yardage there from Cameron Lanier. And I started making this comparison earlier, didn't get to quite finish my point. It's almost like this is our Daytona 500 in the fact that we have a very long season that we love of covering high school football, but in many ways our biggest event is actually the kickoff event.
Yes, yep. Especially
the sheer amount of games.
Especially tonight and tomorrow night, because this, some of the schedule this weekend will kick off around the country, but we're going to be front and center on Wednesday and Thursday night for the entire country.
Reynolds not able to connect with Lanier that time.
Then because of our relationship, Score Atlanta, I.J. Rosenberg, those guys, Dave Hunter with the Mercedes-Benz, we get to put 8 teams in that thing Saturday.
And I tell you, this is obviously a selfish point, but I do love getting a chance to be in that TV booth.
That thing will spoil you, won't it?
Such a beautiful view.
It's unbelievable.
It's such a great scene. Just really feel very lucky to be
out. Oh, man.
Spread out and watching games like that. Not to say we don't like being crammed into press boxes.
We've been in some, man.
You and I both, a little awkward when we get packed in there like sardines.
Set the record. The biggest WNBA game in Atlanta history. The Atlanta Dream look to even the score against Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Get your tickets to the biggest Dream game of the year and see why the WNBA is taking the nation by storm. Don't be left out when State Farm sells out. Monday, August 26th. Grab the hottest ticket in town now at dream.wnba.com.
Looking for a reason to try the new $5 meal deal at McDonald's? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the price makes 5. That's everything you get with the new $5 meal deal at McDonald's.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. Innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions. Telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org.
You'd better hurry. The St. Jude Dream Home giveaway ends soon. And the St. Jude Dream Home valued at $675,000. The deadline for tickets is August 15th. Time is running out. Get your tickets now and help Atlanta families.
All right, coming back here to a 3rd and 2 play. 99 seconds left in our first half. North Atlanta trying to cut into an 8-point deficit. Reynolds keeps it himself. And he's going to fight forward up to the 34-yard line and a North Atlanta first down with exactly 90 seconds remaining in the half.
Yeah, they're going to get on the ball here, try to go fast. Experienced quarterback. He's been in this situation. 2-minute offense right before the half.
Stay with us at the half, by the way. We're going to have more fun action with Kaylee Manziel, who's done a great job already tonight. Reynolds now looking to throw deep into coverage again, and it's a fight for the football, and it's going to be intercepted. Second interception of the night. If it stands, there is a flag. Zaid Rogan comes up with the pick, but apparently Rogan thinks this one's going to be erased.
Yeah, it looks like that's from the reaction of Kell.
A little bit of a sidebar taking place here. I don't know if that's too much contact from Rogan before the interception.
Pass interference. Defense.
First down, North Atlanta, ball at their 48.
Not one bit of indecision about the way in which those calls are being announced, by the way. You like that?
No, he's in it.
Lanier goes in motion. Reynolds looks his way, now throwing back.
Oof, good job closing there, number 9.
Yeah, good job defensively by Colin Davis to step in front of that.
And he laid the wood there. He came downhill, came down in his alley from the outside linebacker position.
Not much doing that time for Grant Thompson. Under a minute now.
That player limping off for Kell. That is...
Yeah, that's Jalen Williams, a guy who's had a good night tonight. One of the better players in this defense.
So they got a new corner in at the top of the screen. See if they take a shot with a senior quarterback right here.
If someone can find him, you think Reynolds might be able to. Does he look that way? Instead, it's middle of the field, ball up for grabs. There was a Braden Rouse in the coverage on that. That's the linebacker getting involved there.
They got Rouse and George in on coverage right now.
McCullough wasn't happy about something after that. It's been a good competitive football game.
Williams just signaled probably to his family members he was coming today like he's cramping.
Okay. Even as the weather cools down, you're still going to deal with that.
Yeah. Like you said, that's
setting up a screen here. To Bartleben was the intended target, but my gosh, Kell was all over that.
They recognized really quick that they were running free, and those defensive linemen turned around. Good job. That is well coached. you recognize, hey, I'm getting let go pretty easy, something's up. And they all three seem like the front line there.
That's on the sideline one time. Coach said to his defense, listen, if you haven't been beating your man all night, you break through there like a hero. You need to turn around.
Yeah.
Although this group has been certainly winning plenty of those battles tonight.
Coach May's going to call a timeout here. Try to steal some plays, I believe.
Now, Mikel, final charge timeout of the half.
All right, while we have a moment, let's also remind you that all season long, we're going to be looking for the cheesiest fans of the game, courtesy of our friends at Gordo's Cheese Dip. So snap a photo, say cheese, and use hashtag Fiesta every day for your chance to be featured on television here this season. The Peachtree Sports Network, our friends at Score Atlanta also involved, and of course the great folks from Gordo's Cheese Dip.
I tell you. So I'm trying to watch my weight, and I'm not cheese dipping right now.
You've done a great job.
But I'm going to tell you something. Me and Matt Stewart got a call yesterday, and I could tell Matt was digging into something. I said, Matt, what are you doing? He said, man, I'm eating my Gordo's cheese dip.
I like it. You got to stay loyal.
He goes, man, this stuff is good. And Kaylee was talking about it. She loved it. So it's the Gordo cheese dip is always a hit when you start doing the Corky Kell luncheons and those types of things. And they give some to the players. It's funny, the players, when you tell them, hey, you take that cheese. Nope, they're taking it back to school with them. Those dudes.
Do you know how much cheese dip these players
They were
could
dipping
eat?
everything.
Do
sure.
you know what quantity of cheese dip they would consume?
I mean, they looked at us like, we can take those? And they were like, get it all.
Low snap. High punt.
Wow, what a punt, man.
Deep into the night. Ball then going to bounce way back, take a Longhorn roll. I mean, that was almost
check
too high.
Up.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know that we have we saw one punt, but every punt we have seen today is kind of checked up on this turf.
Yeah, kind of kicked back a little bit, yeah. While we have a moment, we'll also take a look at the Kell Longhorn schedule here.
Alpharetta going to play Saturday.
That's right. We'll see Alpharetta in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and then Kell will see them the following week
at Lowndes.
Wow. How about that for an incredible road trip? Now, you talked to Bobby May about this. Coaches so frequently say the same thing. If you want to travel in November to go down there and win a game like that, you got to practice that kind of trip during the season. And the travel is a big part of it. Getting down 75, getting there, staying in a hotel. You know, that's as big a part of it as anything.
Let me tell you something. Blessed Trinity, Ed Dudley.
As you see the handoff here on first down.
We have a treat on this very well television station right here in September. Savannah Christian is going to come up here
that's going to be fun.
To Atlanta with two of the best defensive linemen in America. And let me tell you something. If you don't know DJ Jacobs at Blessed Trinity,
It'll be a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, and the clock will run on the ready.
you better know him because my former company, 24/7 Sports, came out with their first ranking today for 2027. They're the first major class, first major company to rank. He was ranked number 3 in America.
We saw him as a freshman a year
Remember
ago.
that play against Marist last year.
And it was so obvious that he was on a rocket ship to the moon.
We're going to see 3 or 4 of the best defensive linemen in America when Savannah Christian comes to Blessed Trinity, and we're going to do that game live on Peachtree Sports Network.
Boy, I love to hear that, man. What a great job you and the entire team from Score Atlanta have done at kind of putting this regular season schedule together for us. Our drive for the GHSA state title. But before that, though, we got big action here. The Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic. Both these teams finding their strikes here in this first half, and yet anyone's ball game as we move toward the second half. Prior to that, though, we got halftime show coverage coming up. Hope you're having as much fun as we are tonight on the Peachtree Sports Network for day 1 of the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic. We've got halftime coming up.
Introducing Zaxby's new chicken finger tacos. One with pico and creamy chipotle ranch, and the other with bacon and avocado ranch. Chicken experts since 1990. Taco experts since now. Woo, saucy! Zaxby's.
The Georgia Sheet Metal JETC provides apprentices with free training and careers that are stable and essential to the operation of the modern world. Both craft jobs and management positions offer lucrative pay with benefits as well as the stability of a growing industry. Skilled journeymen in the sheet metal industry are essential to our community now and in the future. Learn more about free technical training with no student debt at our website, careersinsheetmetal.com.
Customer service is everything in our industry, and one thing our clients love is when they call Breda, they get a live representative. At Breda, you get the attention you need and deserve right when you call in. Your appointment gets scheduled right then and there, and you get a specific time, no window of arrival. Our staff are your neighbors. They know what's going on in your community, and they're invested in doing it better.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Zaxby's new chicken finger tacos. One's smothered with creamy chipotle ranch, and one's got avocado ranch with bacon. Chipotle, avocado. Chipotle, avocado. Deciding is hard, so just get both. Woo, saucy. Zaxby's.
And welcome back to the Halftime Show brought to you by Sports Turf. I'm Kaylee Mansell, and I'm joined by Athletic Director Andre Reagan and Principal Curtis Douglas at North Atlanta High School. Principal Douglas, I want to come to you first. North Atlanta was recognized a part of the AP School Honor Roll. What does this mean, and what does this say about your students in your school?
What it means for us is that we're recognized for the number of students that take AP classes and are successful with the exams and passing the class. The irony of that is we're actually an international baccalaureate school, an IB school. So it really is great for us to have that distinction because we have a number of AP classes, but we're actually hang our hat on IB. So it just speaks to the rigor of our programs, our teachers, and how well our students do at North Atlanta academically.
Now, Mr. Reagan, I've seen North Atlanta participate in the last 3 Corky Kells. They've never lost a game, but one thing that's always stood out to me is the community show on how many people come. How would you say that the community supports North Atlanta athletics?
The community supports North Atlanta athletics in every way possible. Off the field, on the field, from barbecues, off season, during season. Our parents, our stakeholders, our coaches families, our faculty, our staff. It's no joke when we really say we are a family. We have a lot. I think there's so many people now that are just alum, whether they've graduated 5 years, 10 years. We try and build the model that we are family, so that's a major part of it.
Now, Mr. Douglas, North Atlanta is also part of APS, or Atlanta Public Schools. What does that mean for your school, and then how do you carry out the mission statement of APS?
Well, what it means for our school, the city of Atlanta itself is internationally known as a great city, and the alum of APS by itself, Dr. Martin Luther King, Clyde Frazier, just the list goes on and on. So just to be a part of that system and this tradition, we celebrated 150th anniversary a couple years ago. So it's a huge honor to be in the system, and we've had a tradition of excellence, and for us, it's just we're very happy to be in the system.
Mr. Reagan, if you could tell the people at home one thing about North Atlanta, what would you tell them?
That's hard.
I know it is.
I think one thing about North Atlanta is kind of like you mentioned, we are a family structure. Excuse me, on the sideline, I was just talking to one of our former head coaches. I won't say a name, but we all stay in touch. We're all a family. Once a warrior, always a warrior really is the thing. It's not just a catchphrase.
Well, Mr. Reagan, Mr. Douglas, thank you so much for joining us. Excited to have North Atlanta here again at the Dave Hunter Corky Kell Classic. Now, guys, we will be back with more after the break.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
You ever seen this? You ever seen that? You ever seen the Harlem Globetrotters live on TV? Well, now's your chance. For the first time in 40 years, the Harlem Globetrotters are showing off their skills right in your living room. Don't miss a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and don't miss whatever they call that move. The Harlem Globetrotters, live Sunday at 7, only on Atlanta's own Peachtree TV. Yeah, baby.
Here's to the legends of the game who paved the way for the stars of today.
Get out of his way!
Origin Sports showcases sports history that is as relevant today as it was in the past. We deliver the stars, stories, moments, and games that define the very essence of sports.
Touchdown! Hammer time!
Because when you celebrate the past, you embrace the future. Origin Sports. Run it back.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm partnering with the American Red Cross this year to tackle blood shortages. Giving blood's important because every 2 seconds, someone actually needs blood, and unfortunately, only like 3% of the U.S. population donates. So we have to step up to give and to make sure there's plenty of blood available for those in need. Visit redcrossblood.org to get in the game and make an appointment to give.
Oh my gosh! World Chase Tag is the Pro League tournament for the planet's most intense new game, which takes the art of being hunted down to a whole new level. It is relentless and fiercely intense, with a chaser having just 20 seconds to get a hand on an invader.
He's done it! He has done it!
And there's only one rule. Don't get caught.
Tuesdays at 7 on Peachtree Sports Network.
And let's take a look at the Kell Band presented by Deer Park. And welcome back to the Halftime Show, brought to you by Sports Turf. I'm Kelly Mansell with Walt Peterson, the lead organizer of the IBEW Local 613. You're no stranger to the show, neither is the IBEW. Why do you continue to partner with high school sports? Why is it so important?
The benefits of being able to present the trades to the young men and women, knowing that they have an opportunity to pick a career to where they can earn a good living, have retirement benefits, medical, and it is tuition free. Earn while they learn. And it's exciting just to meet the young men and women and the middle-aged men and women that come aboard in the trades. It warms my heart. It's life-changing.
You mentioned that word opportunities. What sort of opportunities do you offer post-high school in terms of apprenticeship programs?
Looking at the Georgia Construction Careers, which comprise of 19 different local unions, dealing with all the trades from, quite naturally, I'm going to say my trade, being an electrician,
as you should,
plumbers, iron workers, sheet metal, HVAC, you name it, elevator constructors. Most of these apprenticeship programs are 4 or 5 years, earning money the entire time. And upon completion of an apprenticeship program, some of these credentials are equivalent to 60 credit hours.
Now, I know there's tons of benefits, but when you look at the IBEW, what's the major benefit of joining your union?
Major benefits, one of them, and I could probably talk about that for a long time. One, you receive credentials that allows you to be able to go anywhere in the United States and Canada and work under North American Building Trade Unions. 3 different retirements as part of IBEW, and that's not just Local 613. Also, health and welfare. It's a employer contribution, which is based off of work hours. We're going to provide the work hours, i.e. our partners, the contractors, and the only thing that's required of that worker is to bring the skills to the table to pay the bills.
I'm going to ask you to do a little something different than we usually do. I know that you're good friends with Randy Beal, but he's not here, but we're going to assume that he's watching right now. What's your message to Randy Beal?
Keep up the good work, Randy. Keep up the good work. It's much needed, and sky's the limit for what Georgia Construction Careers is doing. It's an honor to be able to be here with the Corky Kell Classic once again.
Randy, you sent us a good one, and Walt, we're excited to have you as the week goes on, and it's always a pleasure to have you on our show.
Thank you, Kaylee.
All right, guys, we will be back with more after the break.
Dang, where you get this car?
You need to join the union.
The union?
Absolutely. You can get 10 of these.
Dang, where you get this car?
You need to join the union.
The union?
Absolutely. You can get 10 of these.
Union construction workers earn the highest wages with the best benefits and the most protection in the construction industry. Find your career in construction. Go to GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com and start your future today.
Beginning the morning you opened your eyes, we spent every waking moment preparing you for the day you'd leave our nest. Whether it's driving to practice or helping with homework, it's all prepared you for, what am I going to be when I grow up? Will you be ready?
After much thought, I made my decision to take my talents to the IBEW Local 613.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers is not simply a job, it's a career. Visit IBEW613.org to begin a new future today.
Are you interested in becoming a deputy or a jailer? The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office is hiring and looking for individuals passionate about protecting and serving their community. If you are 18 years or older, join our team by visiting gogcso.com for more information. Gwinnett County, together we can make a difference.
For a healthier future together, look to Northside Hospital.
And welcome back to the Halftime Show, brought to you by Sports Turf. This is our halftime guest presented by Georgia Army National Guard, and I am joined by Staff Sergeant Sean Ryan of the Georgia Army National Guard. So you guys have been a key partner with us in all of high school football for a few years now. Why is the relationship with Georgia high school sports so important?
Well, so we're really proud to be a partner of Corky Kell and Dave Hunter Classic. So it's really important that high school athletes that are out here supporting their schools and putting everything out on the field, in the gym, in the weight room, in the classroom. So it's really important that they're demonstrating these leadership skills, working well with others, and giving it all they got.
I think a lot of people are familiar with the GI Bill that helps service members pay for school. Does the Georgia Army National Guard have something similar?
Yes, so our service members are currently using the GI Bill while going to school. In conjunction with that, though, the state of Georgia pays our students 100% in-state tuition to any university, college, or trade school in Georgia. Along with that, they're also getting optional health care and other career opportunity seeking avenues for their civilian life as well.
And what sort of characteristics are you seeking out in a potential recruit?
So our biggest thing, like you said, leadership, teamwork, the ability to get back after getting knocked down. For me personally, I like someone with the gusto and willingness to come up and talk to me and reach out and see if they can make it and pass the test.
And for those at home who are interested in finding out more, where can they find that?
So there's two ways that are really easy. First one is www.nationalguard.com/Georgia. The other one is also super easy, 1-800-GO-GUARD.
Well, Staff Sergeant Ryan, we're thankful to have you here, thankful for your service, and thankful that the National Guard works with us on this every year.
Yes, ma'am. Appreciate you having me out.
All right, guys, we will be back with more after the break.
If you live in rural America and want better high-speed internet at home, say hello to the new HughesNet.
Hi! Now I can video conference with confidence.
Yes! The new HughesNet is Jupiter-powered with unlimited data and faster speeds than ever before.
Now I can stream up anything I can dream of.
Now you can do it all. Connect, stream, and play. Call today to get free professional installation and exclusive offers. Call 1-800-736-7315.
Thank you for watching Georgia High School Heroes presented by Ingalls. I'm Chris Bainbridge, and we're taking a look at some of the greatest high school football players ever to play the game in the great state of Georgia. Having one player from your town on this list is impressive. Having two brothers? Well, that's singularly unique. But that's what we have with the Sharp brothers from Glenville. We've already reviewed the accolades of older brother Sterling. This week, the spotlight shines on Shannon Sharp. The Hall of Fame tight end dazzled in high school, and the field that witnessed his greatness now bears his name. His football prowess took him to Savannah State, where his dominance continued, and eventually to the NFL, where he starred on back-to-back Super Bowl winning teams with the Denver Broncos. His bust now sits in Canton, Ohio. Thanks for watching Georgia High School Heroes, presented by Ingalls.
It's hot at Matthews Kia of Cartersville, so we are having a hot sales event. We have great selections of 2024 and 2025 new vehicles. Lease the 2025 Kia Carnival LX for $429 for 24 months. The 2024 Kia Sportage LX $289 for 24 months. Or the 2024 Kia Telluride S just $379 for 24 months. Hurry, because prices are in your favor right now. Don't forget, Matthews Kia of Cartersville is home to the lifetime warranty. Come see us today. All roads lead to Matthews Kia of Cartersville.
Set the record. The biggest WNBA game in Atlanta history. The Atlanta Dream look to even the score against Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Get your tickets to the biggest Dream game of the year and see why the WNBA is taking the nation by storm. Don't be left out when State Farm sells out. Monday, August 26th. Grab the hottest ticket in town now at dream.wnba.com.
And welcome back to the Halftime Show brought to you by Sports Turf. I'm Kelly Mansell with Kell Athletic Director Onisha Young. You've been VP before, but this is your first year being AD, and you came in just last month. You got to put up with all of this. What's it been like stepping into the role?
It's been challenging, but it's really, really fun. I always tell my kids first, you're a student athlete, so seeing them before I was a scheduler, seeing them on that student side, and now seeing them as athletes, it's just great. And the exhilaration from the night, having everyone come out, it's a great atmosphere. We started with the tailgate tonight. So we had out here, we had our booster club, we had our herd, which is our spirit for our Kell, our school kids. They're over there with all, because it's neon night, so they have their neon flashies. But it's been great. It's very rewarding, and you see we're winning tonight, so.
Yes, ma'am.
Love it.
You talked about pregame, but usually Friday night football games are, of course, hosted on a Friday, but Corky Kell is always on a Wednesday here. What was the atmosphere like at school today?
So today at school, the kids are excited. They've been excited all week, especially being one of the first games in the continental U.S. So we're great that we can host here at Kell. And like I said, we have a great community. Like I said, we started with the tailgate, and it's just, if you're here, if you're looking at it on TV, it's just exhilarating. Everyone's excited. You hear all the noise. You hear the DJ. You hear the band. You have people dancing. It's just a great Wednesday night lights.
So we're here celebrating the Kell football team. We're very familiar with it, but a lot of people might know that your girls volleyball team finished in the Final Four last year. Your girls softball team finished in the Final Four last year. What is support like in the community for other sports programs?
And also our boys baseball team as well.
Just add it to the list.
Yes, and then our boys basketball team, state championships 2 years in a row. It is great. I want to say all of our sports, they support each other. Our community, which is just great. They come out. It doesn't matter. Earlier, one of our students that graduated about 10 years ago came out to the game. So we have continued support within the community. It's just, we call it Kell family.
To wrap up, I just want to say on behalf of all of us, I know that we would say the same thing, that Kell has always been such an incredible host school. The hospitality, the people that we get to meet, the coaches, the players, it's indescribable, and we thank you so much for allowing us to be here every year and for putting up with us and all the craziness that Corky Kell Game Classic is. Well, hopefully we'll get to see you again this season, but your Kell Longhorns are in the lead as of right now, but make sure to stay tuned because the second half's about to start.
Hook 'em horns.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting six figures.
Okay, I have your back, you have my back, we're gonna do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
Planting season is here, and it's time to give your yard the perfect touch from the professionals at Personal Touch Lawn Care. Why Personal Touch? Courteous service, attention to detail, and a desire to give you the best lawn in your neighborhood.
They have the knowledge and skills to do anything that I would need.
Call now for a 25% discount on design and consultation services.
Big enough to serve you, small enough to know you.
Personal Touch Lawn Care, 770-908-1238, or online at ptlcatlanta.com.
Sweetheart, please don't forget to wear your seatbelt.
I got it, Mom.
It's a really nice day, living in the right space. Breathing your grace, got me feeling some kind of way.
In the blink of an eye, so many tomorrows can disappear. Buckle up for your future, every trip, every time. A message from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
The Forum River Center in Rome, Georgia is now open and available for meetings and receptions. We're fully equipped for large conventions, sporting events, weddings, and much more. The Forum is located downtown within walking distance of local restaurants, hotels, and boutique shopping. We offer a variety of meeting spaces, many with beautiful river views. Outdoor venues are available for that special touch with our adjacent parking deck and a personal concierge on site. Your event is sure to be a hit. Find out more at forumrivercenter.com.
The Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic is brought to you by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Transform your future today. And presented by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 613. Electrify your career.
And we are back as our third quarter is getting set to begin. Brandon Adams, Rusty Mansell here at the stockyard of the campus of Kell High School, named after Corky Kell, who obviously also is a part of the name that our great event, the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic, has. You see Kell leading right now, 15-7 there as well. A couple of recaps here for the main, stories of note. Obviously, one of the names we were excited about seeing for North Atlanta tonight, Chase Linton, the edge rushing prospect, the Rutgers commit, who's also drawn a lot of other interest as of late, including from UGA, recently picking up an offer. Have not gotten to see Linton here as a part of that North Atlanta offense, I should say that North Atlanta defense. We obviously wish him well as he's, battling a little bit of an injury, but we have seen plenty of plays and exciting moments on both sides. Probably not indicative of the score necessarily. 15-7, a little bit of a lower scoring first half, but a handful of highlights really on both sides.
Yeah, you see North Atlanta having a turnover inside the 10 kind of negated a first half for them. We've seen good play by both quarterbacks, not only with their legs, but with their arms, good accurate passes. Had a chunk play called back for Kell. North Atlanta had a turnover inside the 10, so very well could be a 22-21 type game right now, but 15-7. I think both teams probably happy offensively. They just want to tighten things up a little bit and eliminate these small mistakes that start to kill drives.
Of course, earlier today you saw Douglas coming out of the city of Atlanta. They come over here to Kell High School. They get their win over LaGrange to sort of get things started here. Very impressive performance. And obviously looking ahead to the rest of the action for the weekend. Of course, thinking about on Saturday, Douglas County and Cedar Grove. A big matchup would be the final matchup, of our event there on Saturday night from Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Also, how about North Gwinnett and Keatron? A couple of second-year coaches at that program.
I'm telling you, Kareem Reed and Eric Godfrey, both of them had young teams last year. They're still a little bit young. That's going to be a great football game. Two great coaches. And I expect that to be an outstanding. I expect that, Brandon, on paper, that might be pound for pound the best game Saturday in Mercedes-Benz.
I think you might be right about that. I do. Obviously, a chance to showcase Douglas County in the night game. Listen, that's one of the most talented teams in the state, bar none, really.
Yeah, Douglas County, they're a little banged up. I'm interested to see who plays for them. They've had some injuries. I talked to Johnny White, head coach, last week. He said, Rusty, we hope to have everybody back, but I can tell you this. When you're talking about a good offseason, Douglas County had a good offseason.
They did indeed.
And they've got a very, very talented football team.
Johnny White has really made that a destination, really big breakout season.
They've invested in their program. I mean, you got a new weight. You got to see that new. Have you seen the new facility there at Douglas County?
Beautiful.
Weight room. I mean, they have done everything down there. He has made that a place you want to play football.
And a lot of folks certainly are right now. All right, so third quarter action getting ready to begin. It'll be North Atlanta who will get the football here to start it back. onside kick, fielded inside the 10. Returnable there, and a big hit going to bring him down there at the 15-yard line. Nice play on special teams that time by Michael Dominic. Dominic really among the more experienced players on the Kell defense and getting it done there on special teams. Backing North Atlanta up on its first drive to start the third quarter.
I understand the new NFL rule. I understand the new kick, and I understand it. But, man, I'm a traditionalist, and I like to see this, especially on the high school level.
Well, the thing about the NFL kicks is it kind of completely takes away the onside kick.
Yeah, you have to tell them.
Declare your intent to kick the onside kick, which takes all the fun out of it. You see a handoff on first down. That's to Bartleby. Had a chance to talk to John Stinchcomb about that the other day, whose Super Bowl ring came in part because of the fact that Sean Payton, the Saints coach, had the guts to, surprise an onside kick in the Super Bowl. It's an exciting moment, and now that's just kind of gone from professional football.
I told somebody on the radio the other day, it's like going to a haunted house, and the guy's like, hey, we're about to jump out of this room right here, so y'all be ready for this. You know what I mean? Like that
is a very good comparison.
The element of surprise is gone.
That is a very good comparison. There's Reynolds himself keeping it. You're talking about 6'3", 210 pounds for Reynolds. So when it comes to just busting it straight up the gut there and seeing what he can get, Reynolds is capable of doing that.
That was his hand right
there.
I like him, man. He's got good size on him. And listen, he's committed to VMI, but they're going to have some competition for him before it's over with, I guarantee you, this year.
Listen, you want to know how tough Reynolds is. I mean, like VMI, that
no doubt. Now, you got to have a mindset there.
You absolutely do. Into coverage. Kamani Adams able to wrestle that away.
Kell's been really good in coverage tonight. They trust their defensive backs. They will put these guys in man-to-man coverage.
When you hear from Bobby May over the course of the offseason, the one thing that was obvious is he did have some confidence in his defense.
Yeah.
I think that he knew they had a chance to be really good on that side of the ball.
Looks like they're good all three levels.
That's right. Reynolds will hand it off to Bartleby again. Up to maybe the 31-32.
A game like this, even though it is cooler, I'm interested to see if anyone starts cramping up because it's later in the day. These kids, we've said it, probably hadn't hydrated like they're supposed to all week. Is somebody's tank going to start running a little bit empty as this night goes on?
3rd and 6 now. Bunch formation for North Atlanta. Reynolds looking middle of the field and more good coverage, this time from the person of Jacob Carroll. Junior linebacker there to break that up.
I tell you what, they fooled them because they thought they were going to be a man-to-man. They set in zone. They run that mesh concept. And all he did when he cleared, he had nobody to pick. As soon as that ball was delivered, the guy in that zone delivered a pop. It tells you they confused North Atlanta there. They were anticipating man-to-man coverage. They got zone, and it negated that play formation.
You see a showcase there of the Kell student section brought to you by our friends at Wild Leaf Brewing Company. Fair catch called for, and the football comes loose. And we say it all the time, special teams can be anything.
High school football, what a turnover for North Atlanta early in the second half, Brandon.
Zaid Rogan is the punt returner. He's a Wofford commit, but not able to hold on to that, and it's new life here now for North Atlanta. Hold your breath on every special teams play, no matter what it is, no matter which team you cheer for.
Especially early in the season, the little momentum. Let's see if they take a shot right here. Maybe at the bottom of the screen. You see that man-to-man coverage. He's looking that way. Let's see if he gives one here. They take a shot with some momentum.
Kell shows pressure. Coming after Reynolds. Reynolds tries to get away, and he does. Good job just to make something happen. Jack Ellenberg.
Jalen Williams down again in the back, and I hope this is a cramp because he went down quickly. Junior defensive back.
Okay, so while And the way it's happening, it makes you think it probably is a cramp. We obviously hope that it is. But while Williams gets seen about, we'll take a quick timeout here. North Atlanta got the football here, trying to make something happen.
Whether you're a professional driver or just a fan, vehicle breakdowns are costly.
It started tugging.
It started making some really weird noises.
The last thing I remember is just the engine cut out.
If your check engine light comes on tomorrow, the repair could easily cost thousands.
Is that transmission?
It's an exhaust leak.
Broken axle.
But with Endurance, you could never pay out of pocket for a costly repair again.
They covered a $14,000 engine replacement.
I had a seat sensor that went out, $1,400. Endurance paid it.
We got a brand new transmission, and we never seen the repair bill.
Use any certified mechanic you want. Just bring your car in, and Endurance will pay them direct. All major parts are covered.
What I like about Endurance, they don't play games, there's no middleman. They're a solid company.
If I didn't have Endurance, I would have paid over $7,000 out of pocket to repair my vehicle.
Something is going to break down. Make Endurance pay for it.
With Endurance, your car repair costs go way down, while your car's life expectancy goes way up, allowing you to drive more and pay less. One claim alone saved me more than $4,000. I've had 5 claims, and that is $3,500 that I've kept in my pocket.
So, who's going to pay for your next car repair? You or Endurance?
Whether you put 10,000 or 100,000 miles a year on your car, if it's less than 20 years old, Endurance has you covered with unlimited miles. Plus, your plan covers 24/7 roadside assistance anywhere in the country. Call right now to get $300 off any plan, plus a full year of our top-tier elite benefits, a $2,000 value free. And all Endurance plans come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. But you have to act now.
Call 1-855-235-5637. That's 1-855-235-5637.
You see a Kell Longhorns fan there, ringing the bell, representing Stockyard.
Go Dogs wants no part of that Longhorns.
That's right, staying away from that for sure. Reynolds also going to keep it himself, the quarterback.
Love the play call. Love the play call. Big 6'3" quarterback. Let him lean on you a little bit.
Reynolds has had a sharp night. We're in the red zone here now, brought to you by IBEW, Local 613. One of the things Bobby May had expressed a little bit of concern about on his defense is, establishing that depth up front. We've seen, big guys make plays tonight like Nat, like Alex Jean, but he wants to see more depth come out here. DeBartleman gets a chance to get the carry. Looking for a block and got it. And the ball came loose again. Unbelievable.
Oh goodness. Again, I'm going to tell you something. Number 1,
Michael Dominic.
He laid the absolute wood to that running back and popped that ball out. That is the second turnover, Brandon, inside the 10, I believe.
Yeah, I tell you, for North Atlanta, it is such a story right now of what could have been for them, because drives that was set up because of a drop punt by Kell.
Yep.
But drives that could have resulted in points right now have not. Jamie All, he's on the verge of not sleeping for 2 nights.
You're talking about what ifs. You start thinking about that. But I'm going to tell you, man, Michael Dominic absolutely laid the wood and knocked that ball out.
And keep in mind, he's also the same guy that had the big hit on the opening kickoff to begin the half, too.
Yep. Nice job. And then you go back. The other number 1, Narcisse, the quarterback, takes over.
He'll be in his own end zone, but he's just happy to have the football back. Going to fake a handoff. Looking for time. Throwing deep into coverage, and it is caught.
Oh, my goodness.
Actually not.
Intercepted by the freshman. They go after the freshman. What a play.
Bryce Willingham, who's made big plays already tonight, comes up with an interception right there, too.
They went after the freshman. They got him earlier in the game. This time he held his own in phase, turns around full speed, and makes the interception. What a play to get the ball back for his offense.
Big night tonight for Willingham, the freshman.
I can't believe how many freshmen are playing in big-time high school football.
So we have now had turnovers on back-to-back plays, And in quick succession here, a total of 3 in this third quarter alone, if you count the dropped punt that gave North Atlanta the possession a moment ago. Let's see if North Atlanta can now take advantage of this in the backfield, but Reynolds pulls the ball back out, keeps him itself, and gets down to the 40-yard line. Got 3 that time. So some excitement here coming by way of both these defenses, forcing turnovers.
Man, what a play, man. You don't realize how hard that is.
The Bartleman will be the running back to the left of Reynolds. One lone deep safety for Kell.
Good protection.
Reynolds goes down. Alex Jean, one of the guys in on the stop. Josiah Owens there as well.
Been very impressed with their linebacker play. All 3 of these backers are Kell's. Great tacklers. Then we got a cramp coming off the field right here.
Yeah, that looks like it's Jean. So third down again. And if you're North Atlanta, you desperately want to get something out of this. You feel like you've left so much on the table. 4 receivers, they're all on the right side. An empty backfield for Reynolds. Gonna try to throw, and it is caught inside the 20, 10, 5. That's a touchdown for North Atlanta and Josh McCullough, although there is a flag all the way back here at midfield. Let's see what that is. That's also a man down, too.
That's a quarterback. He took a shot, I believe.
First the foul, targeting against the defense.
So Reynolds takes a big hit after the touchdown. So the touchdown is going to stand, but now you're left to wonder if Reynolds is going to be okay after that big hit. He has taken some shots all night long tonight, and he hops up. Yeah,
yep.
That's great to see.
I tell you what, he layered that ball right over that defender.
Very nice.
On the run.
Very nice.
3rd and 8. He takes a shot, too.
No disrespect to the Keydets of Virginia Military, but I believe that there might be some additional suitors for Mr. Reynolds' services.
They're hoping the cable goes out pretty quick around here.
I mean, you know, he just looks really sharp.
Dude, he throws the ball. I mean, he's got size. That was a big-time throw. Like, that was a big-time. His receiver was coming across the field. He's rolling right. Pressure down his face, and he layers that right over the backer in between the defensive back and hits his guy on the money to allow him to get upfield for a touchdown. That is a big league senior throw.
They will have to put in a different quarterback for this 2-point conversion try, though. That's going to be Ryan Edwards in the game at quarterback now. He'll fake the handoff, keep it himself. He'll go in and score. Edwards comes in because Reynolds had to leave, at least for a play, because of the stoppage on injury, and he puts a stamp on this game, scampering for a 2-point conversion, the 5'10", 165-pound senior.
That's not easy to do. He's been standing on the sidelines of it with his helmet off. He comes in, has to run a 2-point play, and keeps it.
So we got a real football game brewing here. Tied at 15. A lot of fun left to come. Stay with us on the Peachtree Sports Network.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off.
Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
What happens after you graduate? Will you go to the next level? Will people have your back in the heat of the battle? Will you still train like a champion in pursuit of greatness? You will when you become an IBEW electrician. Join our team. Visit IBEW613.org.
Mechanical contractors in Georgia need workers that are highly skilled and reliable to maintain quality and efficiency in their projects. The Mechanical Trades Institute is an apprenticeship program that trains pipe fitters, plumbers, welders, and mechanical service technicians for our contractors to exceed the expectations of our customers. Visit our website to learn more about training at the Mechanical Trades Institute.
Brand new score. It is anybody's ball game. 15-15, 7:27 to go. Third quarter of play here. After a North Atlanta touchdown score a moment ago, Lucas England will kick it back off. Returnable inside the 5-yard line. Trying to find a block and not going to get there. Nice special teams tackle by Josh McCullough.
Brandon, for the first time tonight, you sense a lot of momentum with North Atlanta. They're bouncing around. How does Kell respond right here now? It's a tie game, 7 minutes to go, plenty of time in the second half, but North Atlanta kind of has found that juice.
And, you know, I think it's interesting. We're going to be 7:20 to go in the third quarter. I don't believe Mooney Gibson has touched it thus far in this quarter.
Yes, and then you see he's in a huddle right there coming out on that field. 6 is about to touch this one. 6 is going to touch this.
And some of that is obviously dictated by the fact we've had kind of a weird cadence of a dropped punt, some things like that. That's not a coach's decision necessarily, but probably about time for him to reassert himself in this football game.
Yep. Offensive line-wise, too. And, you know, you pick up 3 there, 2nd and 7.
Gibson's an interesting story in that you talked about him in the first half being perhaps even quicker than he appears to be.
Yes.
This is a guy who over the course of this offseason made a real effort towards getting rid of what the coaching staff kind of call baby fat a little bit. Probably about 20 pounds lighter
I agree.
now.
And that's what I said. I mean, he looks like a different back this year.
Gibson, this time they're going to be crowd there in the backfield. North Atlanta doing a good job. A name we've called before tonight, Prince Williams, among those in on that stop. Alfonso Dreyer, the nose guard, also coming through.
And this, you know, you talk about North Atlanta defensively, and they're playing without their Power 5 commit right now in Chance Linton.
Lost a couple of the plays, bring up third down, about 9. Kell ball, good see.
So it's 3rd and 9 here. We'll see if Narcisse wants to dial it up.
I would be watching George here at the bottom 13. That's been a guy that they've kind of targeted.
Paulson was showing pressure for North Atlanta. Now he'll kind of draw back. Narcisse going to throw that. Ball may have been tipped, but still great tracking of the ball by Trenton Wanjogu, who goes up and gets that catch. And all of a sudden, you're starting to see a little bit of depth among this crop of Kell receivers. Wanjogu did a great job of tracking that ball in the air.
Love that. They run that scissor route concept. George on the outside comes back inside for the inside receiver. 2 breaks to the outside. And he throws a good ball where only his wide receiver has a chance to make that catch.
1st and 10 now from the 45. It's 4 receivers stretched out with 2 across on each side. That's a handoff left side and some success there for Dante Grant, the sophomore.
They got 2 sophomore backs.
There's also a flag down here, so hold everything on that. At West Forsyth tomorrow, West Forsyth will take on the reigning champs from the Single A Division I classification a year ago. A little bit of a different situation for Prince Avenue this year.
Yeah, Greg Vandergriff texted me at halftime, said, hey, man, enjoying the game, watching it. Said,
personal foul, face mask against the defense.
Wanted to let me know that he helped design this complex.
Is that right?
Started out, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Coach Vandergriff, they tell you what now, they play West Forsyth tomorrow, and then next week they go play Mallard Creek.
Yeah, that's
Charlotte.
a big game from the
Yeah,
very strong North Carolina.
Yeah.
We saw Buford play Mallard Creek a couple of years ago.
Yeah, they got their
Or
hands
last
full
year.
in the first 2 weeks, and I think he's looking forward to it.
Narcisse going to move his running back over. Now handing the ball to Grant again. Grant trying the middle of the field.
He runs hard, too.
He does.
He's not very big, but, man, he gets in behind his pads.
Yeah, looked like he got about 5 that time.
Game 5 on the play, second down 5.
Good answer right here so far by Kell. See if they can punch this thing in. But all the momentum in the world with North Atlanta, they have slowly just come right down the field against this defense.
Narcisse once again going to send Wanjagu in motion. He becomes almost like an H-back on the right side here. Faking the handoff. Narcisse now trying to get rid of it. Throwing a strike. Tried to. Could not connect with Luca Finelli. First target of the night for Finelli.
Man. Ball has some juice on it.
He really did. It's one of the things that Bobby May has said this offseason is that he probably thinks that Narcisse has about the strongest arm of any guy's ever been around.
Yeah, it gets out of his hand now. It's hot. Bunt set at the top.
That's the jet handoff going to Wanjagu again. That'll move the chains here for Cal. 4:37, third quarter of play. We are tied at 15. And we're happy to have you for night one of what will be 4 great nights of football for us. As Rusty told you, this is a North Atlanta team forced to play without Chase Linton here tonight. Narcisse, it's a handoff. It's Gibson looking for his block. Going out of bounds right there at the 6-yard line. So 4 more.
By going with him and Grant, they're keeping him fresh. And that you can tell the difference in him right now. He's able to turn that corner against the North Atlanta defense. Has been on the field here a little while.
Goal-to-goal situation now coming up for Cal. Yeah, that tandem at running back really pretty impressive. And, keep in mind, this is a team that lost a running back. It thought it would have Tyreek Green transfers to Buford. So the fact they're not really skipping a beat on the ground, great testament to Bobby May's team. There's Gibson going across the goal line for a touchdown from 6 yards out. Mooney gives Cal the lead.
Great answer by Kell. Comes right back down the field with a drive, long drive. Great third down pass conversion, and they capitalize and turn it into 6 so far.
It's a big boy drive.
That's a big boy drive because all the momentum. North Atlanta is bouncing around the sidelines. They've made a couple plays. Kell used the running game and a timely pass. Converted us into 7.
PAT try there by Fernando Tavares is in and good. And now you're looking at the Longhorn lead, 22-15. Of course, while we have a moment, we'll give you a shout out here to our friends at Breda Pest Management because you can switch your termite protection to Breda Pest Management and your rate's going to be locked for 10 years. If live termites are ever found, Breda's going to retreat, fix the damage, and honor the rest of your contract. All for free. Breda, they handle bugs and critters. You love them. What do you think we'll be 10 years from now?
What do you mean? As in bugs and critters?
Well, Breda Pest Management keep you covered for 10 years.
I tell you what. Ooh, I'm trying to survive the Saturday right now.
I know that.
I know you are in process of moving, and isn't that a joy?
Just the absolute worst.
Isn't that a joy?
Like, you feel like you're moving for a good reason. For those who don't know, my family, we've recently moved into a new home. You feel like you're moving for a good reason, and then about halfway through, if you could go back and just never do it,
you just bought your forever home.
Yeah, we would just absolutely go back and just pretend this never happened.
Man.
Kick going to be returnable there. The 10-yard line ball is free, and having to just fall back on it. We'll go down to a knee to fall on that.
Do you think that teams not going live special teams, they don't do it in scrimmages either? I mean, things get ramped up immediately when you, because Brandon, we're comical with this. We see this every year. We will see it all weekend.
Yeah.
Until about week 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Special teams will decide a lot of games.
But special teams is also, like, the problem with, like, the Saturday guys and Sunday guys, they make it look easier than it actually is.
They also got a guy that can kick it all the way through the end zone almost every time.
And, listen, a lot of these guys we see on these Friday nights have great legs, but it's a lot of knuckleball kicks and things like that. Those balls are legitimately hard to catch.
Yes.
And, I mean, all you're thinking about is don't make a mistake, don't make a mistake, and you know what happens after that. DeBartleman on the carry. Not much doing for him.
And you got a 15-year-old kid who knows he's on TV. He knows he's back there by himself. And he's probably made that catch 10,000 times since May.
But if you watch an SEC game or an NFL game, you see, like, the long snap, and it's never a bad snap, at least almost never. It's always pure. It's not as easy as those guys on Saturdays and Sundays make it look. This is a little bit more in keeping with the actual challenge. And frankly, because of that, I think special teams at this level is just a lot more fun. You know, if you're watching a Georgia or Georgia Tech game or one of these SEC games, you know, when it's time for a PAT or a punt, that might be when you go up to the refrigerator and yourself something to drink.
You haven't watched a PAT in 3 years.
No, that's an easy way to kind of buy yourself some time on the front end of a commercial break. Reynolds will run, try to throw. Ooh, he took another big hit. Another big hit. I believe that was Josiah Owens who laid that one. Yeah, it's Dominic again, too.
I mean, you got to get down.
Yeah, he has a lot of faith in his size, and you understand why he would.
Yep.
But,
man, he is popped right back up, too, man. That is a tough son of a gun, because I'm telling you, number 1 brings it.
Really impressed.
You look at Dominic, you're like, I don't know where he's going to, who knows size and what he runs and all that. But when you throw on this tape, you better have yourself buckled up with one.
You know, that's one of the things that Bobby May always seems to have are the really good, not to say that Dominic won't have plenty of opportunity to play in college, but the really good high school players.
Remember a couple years ago they had that nose guard?
Yeah, Barker.
Oh, my gosh.
Barker, the nose guy.
Nobody still hasn't blocked him.
Yeah, just an outstanding high school career. For whatever reason, maybe not generating the attention with college scouts he would like to have, but just, I mean, like you said, yet to have been blocked in high school.
He still hadn't been blocked in high school, period.
Yet to have been blocked. So now 4th down coming up.
Great answer again right there by Kell. And what a hit.
Quick change at the punt return spot. Going to quickly run on Landon Mays here. Another high punt. This one does not kick back. It just simply goes out of bounds right around the 44-yard line. So if you're North Atlanta, be careful here. You had to give the football back. You're already trailing by a touchdown, and it's going to be pretty good field position for a Kell team that knows it can have some success on the ground. The next couple of minutes here defensively going to be really important in terms of the trajectory of this football game.
You look at North Atlanta that just came off the field, gave up a big drive. How tired are they? We're going to start seeing some cramping on this side of the ball. Don't know. We're going to find out what kind of shape North Atlanta's in right now.
They've obviously given up a couple of turnovers. They got the benefit of one on special teams a little earlier. They would certainly love to have one of those right now. Kell going to send a player on late. That's going to be the handoff. Trying to cut left side, gets a block, and nice run down the sideline for Dante Grant.
I'm telling you right now, he's got different juice to him.
Yeah, this is a Kell team that looks good when it runs the football.
We're talking about vision. He was very patient, letting his guys get on him, and he cut to the outside. He got north and south in a hurry.
They lost 19 stars from a year ago.
Kell?
Yeah. So we knew tonight would be, this is sort of the new version of this Longhorns team. Dropping down to 4A after winning Region 6 and 5A a year ago. And not a good night if you're going to be one of the contenders in that classification with Kell because they're clearly showing you what they're all about. I should say a football helmet came free. And how about this for Grant? Wrestles free from a would-be tackler and gets inside the 10-yard line. Gets more than 30 yards on that carry.
Man, 2 sophomore running backs. Goodness gracious. They're going to go heavy set. They're bringing in some extra linemen.
We're in the red zone here, presented by IBEW, Local 613.
They push those linemen back out, stay in normal package. They may wind up calling a timeout.
Grant will stay in at tailback after the long carry. Handing to Grant. And he gets down to about the 6-yard line, picks up 5 or 6 more.
Seems to me Kell's got more size up front. You know, last year they were kind of a little bit, they had some good tackles. They got some guys in there that's carrying some pounds up front this year. Maybe not 6'5" guys, but.
And I believe they played a good bit tonight without Keenan Thompson. Maybe even in the entirety of the game without Keenan Thompson, another one of their really good offensive linemen. So they may be a little short-handed there. You see Grant again. Still just doing whatever it takes. There is a flag down. But Dante Grant has owned this drive for the Longhorns.
Illegal formation. Offense. 5 in the backfield.
Bring it back.
Penalty's illegal procedure against Kell.
5 in the backfield, kind of an old school penalty.
That's all, yeah. I don't hear that one much. You see North Atlanta, hands on their hips. They've been out there a lot. A lot of plays last 2-3 drives on defense.
Yeah, it's almost like a little bit like a boxer trying to get to the end of a round here.
Yes.
That if they can hold on, get themselves a break without giving up that touchdown. But Grant just will not be denied. I mean, he is just not denied right now.
You talking about slippery? This is thunder and lightning with these two. Look, he's like, let's go.
So we're under 30 seconds now, clock ticking towards 20. Going to be 3rd and 6.
Yeah, he's going to call it, let him rest up, come down, get the play, talk it over.
That'll be well-needed rest for North Atlanta here, too. So we're going to have 12 minutes to decide it. What has been a good football game. Kell trying to take a commanding lead, but they'll have to wait through the quarter break to do that. North Atlanta hoping to bow its back and get the stop that it needs. Fun final period to come. Stay with us tonight. We're on the Corky Kell Day Hunter Classic.
You ever seen this? You ever seen that? You ever seen the Harlem Globetrotters live on TV? Well, now's your chance. For the first time in 40 years, the Harlem Globetrotters are showing off their skills right in your living room. Don't miss a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and don't miss whatever they call that move. The Harlem Globetrotters, live Sunday at 7, only on Atlanta's own Peachtree TV. Yeah, baby.
Sometimes it's the little victories that mean the most. Those everyday celebrations that bring a smile to our faces and joy to our hearts. At Ingalls, we know there's no one you'd rather share those miniature, memorable moments with than family. Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
You'd better hurry. The St. Jude Dream Home giveaway ends soon. And the St. Jude Dream Home, valued at $675,000. The deadline for tickets is August 15th. Time is running out. Get your tickets now and help Atlanta families.
The nation's hottest sport. See what the buzz is about on Peachtree Sports Network, where the Atlanta Dream look to eclipse the Connecticut Sun. Dream Sun, Sunday at 3 on Peachtree Sports Network.
We are We are back here, getting ready to see a 3rd and 6 to kick off the fourth quarter. Kell trying to keep a drive alive to perhaps extend its lead. See Narcisse, the quarterback, keeping it himself, takes a big shot, but fighting in towards the goal line and in for a touchdown.
And that is a
8 yards out.
Grown man drive right there again by Kell.
Yes, sir. Narcisse caps it off what had been a lot of Dante Grant prior to that. The bell rings and the Longhorns extend the lead.
At the end of the third quarter, Mooney Gibson, 17 carries for 121 yards, averaging 7 yards a carry.
Yeah, I was looking at that too, just because we knew that Gibson was having such a good night. But because of what Grant just did on that drive, you know, he's now starting to work on a nice night for himself there as well, now with 57 yards rushing. So you're talking about, you know, upwards of 170 yards between that tandem tonight. And, of course, as we have a moment, we'll also look at the North Atlanta schedule here for Coach Jamie All. We got Paulding County next week after this game. Then you start getting into some of that region action, which is going to include a lot of teams out of the Forsyth County area, kind of up the 400 way. For North Atlanta, team that was 9-2 a year ago. You know, disappointed to leave the playoffs early last year, but really one of the big breakthrough seasons. Of course, that brought to you by the Georgia Sheet Metal and Air Conditioning Contractor Association.
Again, I just look at the coaches, man, for these teams. I mean, how good coaching in the state of Georgia. Every week, you know you're going to face a good team. I cannot wait for this Prince Avenue West Forsyth game tomorrow night. There is a ton of eyes. I'm talking about a two-time defending state champions, Prince, playing the biggest classification team I've ever played.
Should be a fascinating battle for sure.
This West Forsyth quarterback tomorrow night, people are going to he's going to be another one. He's a returning starter. He's a junior, 6'2", 6'3" kid. We'll get a chance to watch him tomorrow night against a very talented Prince Avenue Christian defense.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, Christian Garrett kind of leading the way there.
Yes.
Georgia Tech fans perhaps leaning in a little closer to be able to see that. Saw another Tech commit a little earlier tonight with Xavier Canales, the offensive tackle for Douglas. There's the kick by Tavares. Going to be returnable right there at the sideline. Maybe a mistake, though, although perhaps no other alternative. So we've seen good special teams tackling from both these teams here in this second half, including another one from Josiah Owens, who's had a couple of those already. Now a long field for North Atlanta, who kind of needs to make something happen. So we know that Reynolds has got the arm strength. They want to try to attack something deep down the field. You kind of wonder who his target will be if he does that. Maybe getting Grant Thompson a little bit more involved.
I think that's who I would try to get involved here a little more. Got Caden Edwards in the backfield, number 9.
Josh McCullough has been the leading receiver tonight. He's got a couple of touchdowns already. That is a handoff going the direction of Caden Edwards there. First carry of the night, I believe, for Edwards.
Got I.J. Rosenberg from Score Atlanta here in the booth with us, and we do a lot of working on games. One game we haven't announced that is going to happen. We're going to have Gainesville at Westlake to end this month on a Friday night. You talking about some grown men? You talking about grown man football? Oh,
no doubt about it. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Big Juan Gadsden.
You see Reynolds there handing the ball off to Edwards once again, and another nice job defensively. Flying to the football is Jaden George, one of these guys kind of playing on both sides of the ball.
I don't think well, somebody had their helmet off. It was a late flag. North Atlanta player with his helmet off. Somebody got a late flag. But, yeah, Jaden George, man, from safety and wide receiver has impacted this game.
Seen a couple of those guys playing a good bit both ways. Braden Rouse is a guy who does that for Kell as well.
I was told at halftime by some people here at Kell that Georgia Tech is about this close to offer Jaden George.
Good. I mean, for good for George anyway.
Yep.
I mean,
Personal foul, face mask, defense. Number one.
It's been interesting to watch the way that Brent Key has operated here. You know, you bring in a guy that I know you and I both like, and Tim McFarland there as part of your support staff, Bill Stewart, North Gwinnett coach.
Yep.
When you're populating your support staff with these former Georgia high school coaches,
Buster Faulkner was as big as hires he's ever made.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
You know, that's going to pay dividends for you, and we're seeing some of that on the recruiting trail for the Yellow Jackets right now. Reynolds going to throw, and it's caught. There to bring it home is Josh McCullough, working on a big night here.
Yep.
And that was a huge strike.
I tell you what, when he can set his feet and he stands in the pocket, he can throw it anywhere. He can throw anywhere on the field.
So we were asking before who that, favored target might be here. McCullough seems to be the answer for that. We're 10:38 to go in the fourth quarter. North Atlanta trailing by a couple of touchdowns, but plenty of time to do something about that. Kell showing some pressure here. That's a handoff and not much doing. Maybe a yard or two there for Bryce Little. All of a sudden, you got a little bit of a committee of running backs now in for North Atlanta after we saw Henry DeBartleben get a lot of the carries in the first half. They have spread it around a little bit more here in the second half. Cameron Lanier will be the slot receiver on the left side. Reynolds going to sidearm throw, try to connect with Lanier.
Wishes he had that one back. Because he had ability to cut up the field. If he catches that, he tells the receiver, my bad.
I like that North Atlanta helmet. The silver stripe down the middle looks
good.
Great.
Numbered. Yeah.
Love the logo with the
kind of that Raiders
sword
vibe.
Yeah. I kind of like the matte finish.
Third and 9. 9 minutes to go. Down 2 touchdowns.
Are you playing this like it's two
Yes.
two downs?
I got to.
Well, I mean, are you trying to set up a shorter fourth down? I guess what I'm
you
asking.
got two. You can tell the OC he's got 2 plays here.
Oh, big hit. It's a completion to Cameron Lanier, but it's a big hit to by Tony Forney. That's a transfer recently to this program by Cedar Grove, from Cedar Grove, and Forney comes up, lays a big hit on Lanier. So he gets the catch, but paid dearly for it.
That was a long throw for about 3 yards. Good job there closing by the DB. And I guarantee if he came from Cedar Grove the last couple years, he knows physicality.
Yeah, absolutely. What John Adams was teaching that program. Adams, of course, now moving on to try his hand at the college ranks. So they do set up a more manageable fourth down, although paying the price to have that happen. Reynolds with pressure coming, avoids that and throws, and it's incomplete. That'll be a turnover on downs, and Kell's going to get the football back here. So North Atlanta's had its chances, but not able to convert when it matters. And now, I'm guessing you're about to see a pretty steady diet of.
You're about to see 6 and 10, in my opinion.
I think that's about what you're about to see here. Kell going to bunch its formation up here. North Atlanta sensing this too. They're creeping everybody near the line of scrimmage. Jogu will go in motion. Creates an opportunity for Gibson.
He hadn't seen him do this all night, but he missed the hole right there. He cut right back. If he cuts back to the right, he might still be running. Well, that C gap basically was wide open.
As it turns out, it'll just be 2nd and 6 after the 4-yard gain. Coming up on 8 minutes to go in regulation. North Atlanta once again trying to get up to the line of scrimmage, make something happen. Here's Gibson again. He doesn't miss the hole this time. He stays on his feet at the 40, at the 30. Deep into Warrior territory goes Mooney Gibson.
I think they flip-flopped that formation-wise and ran the same play the other way.
Give him 28 yards on that carry.
Great job there. He's got 2 mouthpieces again. I like this.
What's that for?
I don't know. That's what the cool kids are doing, evidently. When you rush for about 160.
Which is why I don't know what that's for.
Yeah, no doubt for me either. Yeah. You rush for 160, nobody questions why you have 2 mouthpieces.
No doubt about that. Kell, with good reason, is not in a hurry at all. They do have 4 receivers, 2 on each side of the formation. Here comes North Atlanta again. Narcisse will throw. Sidearm connection to Wanjogu.
They strip it?
Did the ball come out?
Man, they look like they stripped it.
North Atlanta acts like it did.
Did they recover it?
No signal yet, though. Football is in the hand, though, of Grant Thompson, the strong safety.
And they give it
to North Atlanta's going to get the football here. So Narcisse throws it, and that ends up being costly, and North Atlanta gets the turnover that keeps them in the football game. We also have a player down with injury, so we'll watch that during a commercial timeout and come back and show you what might be a very dramatic finish.
Breda's better at keeping termites out.
Besides the fact that we're sending a licensed inspector to your home, we're also using state-of-the-art technology. So we put those 2 things together to give you the best possible termite inspection. Quite simply, Breda is better at keeping termites out. Only Breda protects your home with a complete liquid barrier from Termador. Your rate is locked in for 10 years, so if live termites are ever found, Breda will retreat, all for free.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Careers in the sheet metal industry are not only lucrative and rewarding, but also highly technical. Our industry includes the use of AutoCAD, BIM, robotics, and virtual reality. Apprentices acquire skills that are in high demand and are essential to the development of the modern world. These technical skills will establish your career now and for decades into the future. Learn more about opportunities in the sheet metal industry today by visiting our website at careersinsheetmetal.com.
Planting season is here, and it's time to get your yard looking its best. So treat your yard to the perfect...
Breda's better at keeping termites out.
Besides the fact that we're sending a licensed inspector to your home, we're also using state-of-the-art technology. So we put those 2 things together to give you the best possible termite inspection. Quite simply, Breda is better at keeping termites out. Only Breda protects your home with a complete liquid barrier from Termador. Your rate is locked in for 10 years, so if live termites are ever found, Breda will retreat, all for free.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
And we are back here, 7:28 to go, 4th quarter, and a shocking turn of events a moment ago where Narcisse's pass was complete, but then wrestled away. Grant Thompson, the safety, came up with it, and now North Atlanta's got the football. They need to strike quick here.
They had to have that.
Had to have it to stay in this game, and they did, and that's potential sleepless night now coming for Bobby May, knowing that his team gave that up. Here's the completion now. And still on his feet is Josh McCullough. What a night McCullough has had. And he's well into Longhorn territory, all the way down to the 15-yard line.
That looked very similar to the play they scored on last time.
Roll to the right, hit 7, come back across.
60 yards in the reception for McCullough.
Got a player down for Kell on the sidelines.
So we'll see what's going on there with that. Once again, you hope that's just cramping. We haven't seen a ton of that from Kell tonight, I don't guess. Although I guess we did see that with Williams a little earlier. But when we go back live again, it's going to be North Atlanta taking big-time advantage of its turnover and really kind of finding something in the air right now with Josh McCullough. Already a couple of receiving touchdowns for him, and he's got 2 pretty big catches here in the last couple of minutes. None maybe bigger than that one right there. See a look there at Bobby May, the Kell coach. As intense as ever.
The first out of North Atlanta at the Kell 25.
Here is Reynolds again. Looking to throw left side, tried to connect with Grant Thompson and couldn't do it.
Pressure in his face, unable to set his feet and throw back across his body. Had his wide receiver running out here in the flat open, and credit to pressure to Kell defense, was unable to get his feet set and throw back across the field this time. Oh no, Brandon's got the dreaded battery dead on the phone.
I do.
So Brandon's family's watching. He's still working and his phone's dead.
It was bound to happen.
Just keep unpacking the boxes. He'll be home tonight.
Bound to have happened. 7:03 to go. That's a fake handoff. Reynolds going to keep it. And right there to bring him home was Alex Jean, wrapping up, putting that hand on the jersey and just dragging him down. Nice play with the junior nose man.
You know, to be the first game of the year, we have seen some really good football tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, at times there have been special teams miscues, but as far as just executing plays, not sloppiness.
The quality of the tackling's been good.
Yes.
We have not seen what I would call a ton of missed tackles. Now 3rd down. That's the handoff to DeBartleben. He crosses the 20-yard line. That's going to make 4th down now more manageable.
You know they were 2-down territory, 3rd and 12, and they run it.
So if you're a North Atlanta fan, you need something big for your team right here. With 4 yards to go to keep the drive alive, we'll see what Reynolds can dial up. We'll also see how Kell chooses to defend it. It looks like they're going straight man here across.
Yep.
Reynolds throwing towards the sideline, a fight for it, and it's...
Man, they gave it to him. Is it enough?
Yeah, it's going to be a catch. Is it enough, though? The catch made by DeBartleben.
That's going to look like it might be a yard short. That is a tough throw.
It's going to depend on the spot, I think. It's actually Lanier who made the catch, Cameron Lanier. Lanier's signaling 1st down. Kell is walking off the field like they got stopped. And now North Atlanta is going to retreat too.
Spot.
So probably about a yard shy on that.
They're going to measure. He's coming out.
Bring it out. The chain gang going to come all the way across the field. You see the sweat pouring down the forehead of May there. Still very hot even at night.
Have you seen the new NFL rule with the chip in the ball? Where they measure the spot?
I have. I don't know that I trust the official
That's what I'm saying.
to
That's
get
what
that
I'm saying.
right.
Well, what I'm saying is, all of a sudden we're going to put it in the hands of a computer and a GPS. No, he didn't get that.
Yeah, he's going to be pretty well short.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be like a full yard, almost a full yard anyway.
Yep.
So if you're a Warrior fan, you're sick about the fact that you got the turnover you needed and you got down the field. But once again, not a turnover this time, but still another drive.
That's 3 times.
Kind of deep into Longhorn territory, not materializing into the points that you needed. You really, if you're Jamie All, the North Atlanta coach, going to be left to wonder what could have been different if a couple of drives just concluded differently, although there is still 5:40 left to go here.
That's 3 drives inside the 15, 2 fumbles and a turnover on downs.
So going to the air proved problematic for Kell on the previous drive. We'll see if they can avoid that this time. Narcisse bringing his team back into a huddle again. Coming up on 10 seconds on the play clock, although the game clock rests at 5:40. Starting again on the snap. A little bit of a high snap for Narcisse. Narcisse going to give it to Gibson. Gibson spins across the 20 up to maybe the 21. About 4 or 5 that time for Gibson. And now he'll come off. That'll bring Grant back in. Couldn't tell if Gibson was hobbling at all on that or if that was just a typical rotation. Either way, though, they give him a full 6, and now with 5 minutes to go, it's 2nd 4 for Kell. Everybody for the North Atlanta trying to get towards the line of scrimmage. That creates a real opportunity for Grant. Grant on his feet, makes a man miss, stays on his feet now, crossing midfield into Warrior territory, finally going out of bounds. Right there around the 40-yard line. Big run. Actually going to say he went out of bounds at 47.
What's the over-under that Gibson and 10 make it to first period tomorrow morning?
Yeah. They may be getting an ice bath during first period tomorrow. Yeah, weird for these players, I'm sure. You're so used to your normal schedule of it's Friday night, you play, and then the next day's not a school day.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a little bit different.
Then you had 2 days left.
It's a good point because this is Wednesday.
Yep.
You know, oftentimes when it's Thursday night college football, you see school cancel the next day. A lot of that's related to the parking, you know, on campus typically, but so a little bit of a strange occurrence to come back to school after playing a game the night before, something that high school players typically wouldn't have to do.
I tell you this, and you know my heart is with college football. I cannot stand the thought of more college football on Friday night.
Yeah.
Friday night belongs to high school football.
I agree.
Around the entire country. And I don't care about TV money and all this stuff with college football. Stay off of Friday nights. That is high school football in this country.
Well, I just think the coaches that are populating the next level, they deserve to have that moment themselves.
Absolutely.
The players themselves deserve to have that moment. And listen, you know, you and I both talk Georgia football on a regular basis. There are a lot of people who love Georgia football who love their high school team just as much.
Start your weekend off. And
Come out.
the more scheduling, you know, the Big Ten going to that schedule, complete schedule on Friday night, they're going to have 3 or 4 games. I do not like it.
I think you're right about that. No, I think you're right.
Not a fan.
All right, timeout here means timeout for us, too. We'll be right back. It's Kell on top for now.
Looking for a reason to try the new $5 meal deal at McDonald's? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the price makes 5.
So much.
That's everything you get with the new $5 meal deal at McDonald's.
This is a Peachtree Sports Network weather update, powered by Atlanta News First. Sponsored by Cool Ray.
Hope you're having a great week. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Valdez with your Peachtree Sports Network weather update. As we head into the evening hours, low rain chances. As we head into the evening and overnight, could see a little bit of rain in far northeast Georgia, but most areas will be dry as you wake up early Thursday morning. Throughout the afternoon, we'll keep low chances of rain across the state, about a 20% chance of rain from north to middle to South Georgia by Thursday afternoon. We will start to see those rain chances increase as we head towards the weekend. For tonight, low temperatures near 70 from Augusta to Macon, 73 in Savannah, upper 60s across far northeast Georgia, with highs reaching the upper 80s in the mountains tomorrow. Then we'll see highs in the upper 80s and near 90 across the rest of the state.
The best live sports from Atlanta and beyond are on Peachtree Sports Network. The biggest plays, the instant classics, the next rising stars are right here on Peachtree Sports Network. Set the record. The biggest WNBA game in Atlanta history. The Atlanta Dream look to even the score against Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Get your tickets to the biggest dream game of the year and see why the WNBA is taking the nation by storm. Don't be left out when State Farm sells out. Monday, August 26th. Grab the hottest ticket in town now at dream.wnba.com.
All right, back here live before we get back to action here as well. Brandon Adams, Rusty Mansell with Kell leading. Looking back on the game as you've seen it here thus far. Actually, we'll get to that after this play here on second down. Nice running play to keep the clock running. If you're a Kell fan, you certainly like that. A little bit more of Dante Grant. When you think back to everything we've seen here thus far today, Rusty, how about the play of the game so far from what Kell's been able to do against North Atlanta?
Well, very rarely would I give a play of the game to a team that's probably going to lose this game, but that freshman Bryce Willingham on interception, people don't understand how hard it is to run as fast as you can, turn around, find the ball, jump up in the air, make the catch, and come back down to the ground with it.
That brought to you by England and Stubbs, electrical construction folks. Appreciate their involvement in Georgia high school football, and congratulations on that play of the game for sure.
I think the players and MVP and offense and defense, we're going to announce all that, and that's going to have a lot of Kell flavor to it. So play of the game for me was a freshman, Bryce Willingham, number 18 corner at North Atlanta.
High snap, handled easily by Narcisse. Then the handoff.
Boy, he runs hard.
Going to Gibson again. As we said, this is a Kell team that lost Tyreek Green, a running back who made a decision to transfer. And yet the rushing attack for the Longhorns tonight has not seemingly skipped a beat. Let's also give a shout out here to our friends at Breda Pest Management. Breda Pest Management knows your house inside and out with a customized treatment plan that stops all bugs and critters. Breda does it right, protecting the inside of your house and the outside, because it's the bugs on the inside of the house that you truly want to be gone. So Breda, keep in mind, they handle bugs and critters. One of the things that Bobby May has said is that he knows he's got a talented football team, but the question he's been wondering is how quickly can this team mature? How quickly can they grow up? Obviously, they'll be tasked with a very tough non-region schedule as a way of kind of going through some of those growing pains. But I would say, tonight, this is a Kell team that thus far is more than possible.
You have to be excited offensively. I didn't know what to expect tonight. Losing that quarterback, losing a running back, losing some guys in the transfer portal. Just to be honest, they lost some guys transferring to other schools, and I'm telling you, they got more than their share still around here, and they got two very talented sophomore running backs. Look at this play here.
Yeah, real bunch formation being run by Kell that time, and it's Wanjogu who gets a chance to carry it out of that, kind of coming from a sweet spot there at the wide receiver spot.
He's a good-looking athlete.
He is. The senior.
They love Jaden George. They think Jaden George can be that difference maker for them, and he had to play a lot of ways tonight, but really they found success with the running game. They really have to use him as much. But as the season goes on, if these two sophomores can really get into the game plan like this, it's going to open up some one-on-one situations for Jaden George down the field.
And really, they've got wide receiver talent we haven't really seen showcased a lot tonight. Landon Mays comes into the season with 3 touchdowns a year ago. Saw Luca Finelli targeted once tonight. We expect him to have a bigger role in this offense perhaps as the season goes along. And you've got a couple of the guys who are playing both ways, like Rogan and Rouse, who also are going to have their moments too. So there's still a good number of weapons on this Kell offense. As you see Gibson there, a little ginger as he walks off the field.
You're going to ease by that Gordo cheese truck on the way out over there?
Yeah, exactly.
Going to grab you one to go?
Put me a cheese dip at the drink holder and just dip those chips in on the way home.
Ooh. You got a little longer ride this time, don't you?
Yeah, definitely a little farther out, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt.
Welcome to Rusty's world.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't thinking at least a little bit about that. This will be my first drive home from a high school football game to a much farther
other
location.
side of the state.
That's right. I may be pitching for a lot more games in the Athens area. 1:25 to go. Grant back in at tailback. Going to drag.
Oh, man, he's tough.
Yeah, folks across the 25 down to around the 24, 23. Not a big guy, but a guy that just really relentless and almost refusing to go down.
A couple years ago, if you remember, we did Oconee County versus Jefferson, Sammy Brown and those guys over there, Whit Weeks and all that crowd.
That's right.
Remember, we had no Wi-Fi signal. And when I left that place, 3.5 hours, 4 hours without Wi-Fi, when I got into signal, my phone like NASA.
Yeah, ding, 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 ding.
A Friday night with no signal?
That's an interesting
That was wild.
By the looks of things, it certainly appears that Kell's going to be on its way to the victory. But I got to tell you, I have still liked a lot of what I've seen from North Atlanta.
Yeah.
And this is the third year in a row that I've left the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic feeling that way. Narcisse actually going to throw it and makes a completion to Braden Rouse. They wanted to make sure they kept those chains moving on third down.
They want to go victory formation right here.
Probably be
that's
enough
going to do it. Yep, that's going to do it.
But it'll be a night that belongs to Kell, and obviously a different feeling for them after a year ago when they were not able to get it done against the 718 Parkview. But what a win this is going to be. And as I mentioned, I think that North Atlanta is a team that we're also going to hear a lot from as the season rolls along. But not able to make it happen tonight against a Kell team that's got some new faces. And a little bit of a different vibe here this year, but a similar trajectory, perhaps on their way now in the 4A classification to another region championship, and maybe for Bobby May's Charges, a deep run into the playoff. One thing we do know is it begins tonight with a win, and we do have, we're going to get a chance to hear from Bobby May here in just a moment.
I tell you, Kell and Douglas both put a very good sample size out tonight.
I thought we had two great games.
Four
teams that played really very well. Pretty sharp brand of football here on this particular night. But in the finale of the evening, there can be only one winner. And the school that does such a great job of hosting this event for the last couple of years now gets a chance to find out what the winner's circle feels like in this particular situation. Great night to be a Kell Longhorn. And we'll hear Bobby May share his thoughts on how it all came to be. The debut for a brand new starting quarterback in Caleb Narcisse, the emergence of a couple of running backs in Mooney Gibson and Dante Grant that give a real identity to this team on offense, a collection of receivers that we think can play off of that, and then a customary defense. Very tough up front. We saw some plays from Tyshawn Nat early in the game. Alex Jean, another defensive lineman, he made more plays perhaps in the second half. Jalen Williams was a tenacious defensive back in coverage.
Yeah, look at some of the final numbers right here. Mooney Gibson, 22 carries for 173. Dante Grant comes in, 10 carries for 91 yards. Oh, by the way, he just averages 9 yards a carry.
How about that?
Narcisse, 10 of 14 for 147. Jaden George, 3 catches for 71 yards. You go on the other side, look at Ian Reynolds. He was 15 for 26 for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He certainly showed what he is capable of tonight, and I expect big things for him as the season goes on.
As we're keeping the shouts out going here, Michael Dominic, what he did both at the linebacker position and when it comes to special teams there as well. It looks like we're going to be ready to hear from Bobby May and pretty much the entirety of the Kell football team here. Very happy as they should be after a big win tonight. Najee, go ahead and take it away.
Post-game coaches interview presented by Zaxby's. I'm Najee Wilkes with head coach Bobby May. Coach, I know finish was one of your big turns with this team this year. Let's talk about that in the red zone. This defense finished twice. Talk a little bit about that and them being able to hold the team.
Yeah, the defense played great in the red zone. Obviously, we've got to work on in between the 20s, but forced a couple turnovers in the red zone and kept them out of the end zone, which is the most important thing.
And then talk about this dynamic offense that put up 29 points tonight. They really had it going. What's your thoughts on their performance as well?
We should have scored quite a bit more. We shot ourselves in the foot with some penalties, but I was happy with the way we ran the ball. We ran the ball down their throat and obviously, killed a lot of clock at the end to end the game, so we're really excited about that.
What are some key takeaways, Coach, that you got from this one that you can build on going into next week?
We just need to build on, our toughness and obviously our mental focus. We need to make sure that, we're eliminating mistakes. Sure.
All right, guys, we're going to present now the Robbie Hunter MVP Award presented by Georgia Construction Careers to Contarius Mooney Gibson. A couple quick questions. Over 150 yards rushing tonight. You really had to go on. Walk me through that last touchdown that you had. You carried like 3 or 4 guys along with your teammates. Talk about that play.
It wasn't really nothing for real. It wasn't nothing for real. My line, one thing, my line and stuff like that, but it wasn't nothing. It's something we do every day. Something every day in practice.
Talk a little bit about the impact Jonathan Dwyer has had on you. He's a Kell great. He's teaching you up. What has he meant to you in order to get to this step and have this type of performance?
Training wise, being on me every day, being the first to practice, all that stuff. Just him being on me just helped me, impact me a lot.
What was your favorite thing about being out there tonight?
Winning with my team. Yeah. Winning with my team. Winning with my team. Yeah.
Well, guys, this is all the time we got. Thank you so much for tuning into the post-game show. We're going to go ahead and toss it to break and be back on the other side.
Introducing Zaxby's new chicken finger tacos. One with pico and creamy chipotle ranch, and the other with bacon and avocado ranch. Chicken experts since 1990. Taco experts since now. Woo, saucy! Zaxby's.
Hey, does it matter if this leaks?
It don't matter to me. Can't see it from my house.
Illegal use of hands and proper training.
GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com has 14 different highly skilled trades with tuition-free training in our certified apprenticeship programs to train you the right way. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting 6 figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back, we're gonna do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?